It's Friday, September 26th, 2025. All right, let's start off as we typically do by telling you if you'd like to support our show, you can go to supportourshow.com. Note about that address. For some odd reason, and I really have not yet gotten an explanation for this, there probably is one, but it seems that if you don't put the whole address in, it resolves better. I got some reports that trying to put the whole address in didn't work, but if you just put literally, I think this is just the way they do routing now. But if you just put supportourshow.com, it will take you there. Whereas if you put in the entire HTTPS www.supportourshow.com, it seems to take a lot longer or time out. Now, when you use the short address, it is still HTTPS. That is not an insecure version. It does not go somewhere else. I tested that and verified it. So have no fear there because I don't like telling people not to put the HTTPS. It will resolve properly. But I don't know why it takes longer. Yeah, it's strange. So I will probably update the shortcuts on the site just to do that because that seems to work better. But if you have any problems, just cut off the beginning and just do supportourshow.com. And on mobile, on desktop, I don't know. I got a couple reports, so obviously some people are trying to go there. We did get some money into the PayPal thing, so some people are trying to get there. Thank you very much. I don't know why it doesn't resolve with the full thing, but the short one works. So programming notes. Why did I think it was something else? I'm pretty sure there is something else. There will be a late night for every month this year again, which is a rare thing. But I'm going to be recording one with Robin Ogden, whose musician name is Ogre Sounds, who does the ending theme music for the main show as well as the theme music for the late nights. He has a new album coming out it's out. When this show posts, it will be out, called Shards. It's excellent. I'll be playing some tracks from it. I'll be interviewing him. I haven't talked to him in quite a while. I believe he has also gotten into bodybuilding, like it seems everybody in the world but me has lately. So I know he's in much better shape than he was.
And that is weird. I got to tell you, you know how when you've been doing something for so long and then suddenly it becomes like a big thing and you look around and you're like, that's weird. Why is everyone suddenly getting into this?
Well, you know what? It's good. People should be healthier. So
yes, I know, but in the world of well, that's the other thing. There's bodybuilding, and then there's like just lifting weights, right? Because bodybuilders can all get very unhealthy very quickly.
No one I know is into bodybuilding. People I know are into like what you do, like just generally kind of toning up, getting into better shape. Generally.
And the thing is, like with lifting, it can be very good for you, but like if you push too hard, or if you're one of these people that like wants to get like big real quick and you take stuff you shouldn't take, it can get unhealthy very quickly, especially when you're obsessed with a look.
So far, nobody that I know of is doing that. They just have realized they want to do it the right way. Most of them using trainers, which is good. Doing it the kind of the what do you call it? Not the marathon, not the sprint, I guess.
Yeah, you're doing it the right way.
Version. Yeah. Well, sounds like it. You know, hopefully.
Yeah.
I haven't seen anybody go from pot belly to biceps the size of my skull in 2 weeks. So I'm assuming that most people are doing it the proper way.
The non-steroid route,
Yeah. Usually when people suddenly go from, I don't know, Pauly Shore to Chris Evans and Captain America inside of 6 months, you can kind of tell that something's happening. And I have not seen evidence of that.
Yeah,
So
steroids is a
that's
hell of a
hopefully.
drug. I mean, it's dangerous as
The
fuck.
shit
But
works. Yeah,
oh,
it
yo, no,
works.
listen,
But it's
it's not.
also easy to tell when it's working.
Yeah, I'm not saying the shit doesn't work. The shit absolutely works.
But
But
that's what I'm
what it
saying, though.
does
It
to
gives
the
it
rest of
away pretty
your
quick.
yeah, but what it does to the rest of your body, to your mood,
Well,
to
yeah.
like your relationships. I mean,
Yeah.
it is that I understand why somebody who has a big paycheck at like the other end would be willing to do it. You know what I mean? Like
Sure.
it's the whole okay,
Yeah.
I do this for a while, I get paid a ton of money, and then I can go back to not doing this anymore, right? I
Right.
get it, but
Right.
even doing it for a period of time can be detrimental to your health.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So it's yeah, I mean the big thing now I think is testosterone. You have all these men that are getting themselves on testosterone. And you know, excessive
Yeah.
testosterone. Oh no, actually, you know what? It's human growth hormone. That was the one that was big for a while. Which you know the side effects of human growth hormone on? I think we've talked about this. Like you
I think
get
we have.
oversized hands and oversized feet.
Yeah.
It's like one of the weird side effects you can get. But like Stallone,
Well, there
Stallone,
and you can kind of see it because there's certain people in sports whose hands look unusual, and that's kind of a
yeah.
tell.
I mean,
So yeah.
the process of getting physically fit is a long process, and it's
Yeah.
you're not going to see results immediately.
Right.
And it takes constant upkeep, but
Yeah.
it is nice to be, physically
Well,
capable.
isn't that one of the things where once you're on it, you have to stay on it,
What do you mean?
or it becomes? Isn't?
Oh, you mean like just
what-
well, testosterone. Here's the thing: the gains that
Well,
you
I
get.
know there certain ones that if you stop, it suddenly becomes 8,000 times harder to stay
Well,
where
it's
you are.
not that I know of. It's more so the fact that whatever gains you get from using these things, right? You keep
Yeah.
those gains, right?
Oh.
But you still have to work hard to maintain them. That's the thing. Like, you still have to eat right. You still have to have the right amounts of like protein in your diet, and you still have to work
Right,
do
well,
the work.
that's what I'm getting at. It is
Yeah.
harder to stay where you are once you're off. That's
You're
what
not
I
gonna
mean.
you're not gonna gain, but you'll stay. I mean, that's the thing. That's the kind of the pernicious part of it, which is that you take this stuff and you get big, and you can stay big without it. It just then you have to do the work of staying big. But
That's what I'm getting at. Isn't it a
but-
lot harder
well,
to
'cause
stay where you are without it?
no, it's
So okay, well, all right. Here, lay it out
No.
scenario.
No,
I
no,
take
no.
steroids for a year, and I
Yeah.
double in my muscle size, and I
Yeah,
suddenly
and-
stop.
yeah, and then you go off.
I don't
of
have to
it,
do anything now. I'm
and then
okay.
you keep lifting at that level.
No, what? Oh no, no. So I'm saying is, if I just
Oh, no.
stay at that
Listen,
level,
listen.
I'm not going to
If-
drop.
No, as long as you keep lifting at the same rate that you are lifting, you will stay where you are.
Oh, so it's like a adjustable desk where it just stays at that latch that you leave. it
Yeah,
on, as
and the
long as
thing
you keep
is
doing
that
it.
you won't get the gains anymore. So
You
Chris
won't get
Evans
any
is
bigger, really.
yeah. So Chris Evans is a great example. So Chris Evans, I don't know what Chris Evans did, but let's say he did a bunch of steroids to get
He did something. He
right.
did whatever
So,
all the
no,
Marvel
no, no.
people
So
do.
I'm not saying he did. We're just using him as an example.
I
Actually, you know
am,
what?
because we all know
Who's-
there's a Marvel formula. He did something.
Who's the baseball player who is clearly on steroids?
Oh, Barry Bonds, whose head size expanded by 4
Yeah, Barry
times.
Bonds, right? So Barry Bonds. So Barry Bonds just does a bunch of steroids, right? And he
Yeah.
gets really big. And then he doesn't need to be big for a while, so he goes off to steroids, right? And he doesn't lift as much, and he shrinks down a bit. But the thing is that he already has essentially the capacity, the muscle cells are there for him to get back to where he was, right? So he can always get back to where he was with work. It won't be easy work, but he will have an easier time than a non-steroid user of getting there because he's already it's the same thing with like fat cells, right? If you're somebody who let yourself get really fat when you're younger or whatever, you let yourself go, right? You have expanded your fat cells. So then even when you lose weight, those fat cells don't decrease in number. They just shrink in size, but they're still there and they're still waiting. So it then becomes easier for you to get fat at a later time because
Tell me about it.
you have the maximum amount of cells there that's just waiting for it, right?
Yeah.
And that's why people will do. I mean, I am not saying this is a good idea in any way, shape, or form, and I never do it. But this is why people will then have like fat cells, like basically like scraped out of parts of their body. They'll have like reductions in areas because they know that the fat cells there are numerous and they don't want to have it gained so easily. These are people who are obsessed with, dimensions, right? But the thing is, muscle cells work the same way. So when you take steroids, you get big, all right? And then you go off the steroids and you have that muscle now. And as long as you keep working, you keep that muscle. Right? You just have to keep working. You're not going to get big. I mean, your gains thereon are going to be really slow, if at all. Because your body will probably be sitting there going, "Hey, fucker, we're this big." I mean, maintaining muscle on the body is actually really hard because your body has a point where it's like, we're big enough. Do you remember that guy, the Thor Bjornsson?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so there, Thor Bjornsson is interesting because there was a while there where he was competing in like the strongman competitions, and he got really, really big. And I remember reading an interview with him where he said that basically he was at the max. He felt he was at the max size that his body could handle, and that when he was done with this, he was going to let himself shrink down to a more manageable size. And he did. I think he started doing some boxing after that. And if you look at him, he did slim down. I mean, the guy's still fucking enormous,
Sure.
but he let himself slim down. But the thing is, those muscle cells are there. So if he wanted to get big again, he could. But
Well,
it's just
Vin Diesel? Somebody had a thing where they got so big that like the veins on their chest were getting dangerously compressed or something. Somebody had like some kind of thing where,
yeah. Well, that's the thing. If you
I
make
don't remember
muscles,
who it was, but they were like, you have to stop because you are going to rupture the fucking veins in your body or something.
If you make yourself too big for your body to handle, you are stressing the system. Being massively muscled, I think to some degree, in my opinion, is as stressful to your body as being massively obese. You are a max dimension that your body is not used to. Yeah. Listen, the body wants to be kind of slim and toned. That's really what it is. In nature,
like
none of us
wants
were
to be driving 50. An engine of a car wants to be going 55. Doesn't want to be going 25, and it doesn't want to go 85. It wants to be, unless it's a sports car. But most cars, the engine is made to go 55 to 60. That's where it wants to be.
There you go.
You can push it.
Yeah, well, and the thing is yeah.
By the way, little public safety tip for everybody that I found out the hard way. Two things about cars. We'll get back to bodybuilding in a moment, but I will forget this, and I want to point this out to people. Two things that I've found out about cars recently. Most cars now, modern cars, newer cars, have driving modes. Generally, there's something like eco.
Eco,
sport,
normal, and sport.
Okay. If you're not on a highway, don't put eco mode on. You sort of think you should. Don't. Because it's actually going to wear your engine down. I found this out. My engine luckily wasn't affected, but my turbo blew. And I found a couple things out about cars, including the fact that I don't ever want a fucking turbo in a car again, because I didn't even know what a turbo was really doing in a normal car. But now I found out that that's how car makers can say the power of a V6 and a V4, because they're artificially pushing your engine harder than it should be.
Because
so a turbo wears your fucking engine.
Yeah, a turbo is basically short-term high power. That's what it is. So in Jersey, when I lived in, it's not garbage. Hold on. There's a time and place for that tool. In North Jersey.
No. All right. In normal cars, it is going to blow. There's been a rash of these things.
I know, and I'm going to argue the point that in North Jersey, right, when I was living there, I had a car with a 4-cylinder engine, right? And the driving to get on the highway is so fucking aggressive that I know many people who basically said if their 4-cylinder didn't have a turbo, they wouldn't be able to get into fucking traffic. They'd be thrown around by it.
Let me give those people a quick tip here. Because when your turbo fails, it will likely be out of warranty, and you will spend as much as getting a V6. Trust me, I know the hard way. You want to spend $8,000 on a turbo? You can.
The turbo blew in your car?
Uh-huh. And it's not covered under the normal engine warranty.
Weird. Yeah, I'll tell you something. Yeah. My car has a twin turbo, so I'm doubly fucked.
Yeah.
But
So
listen.
that's
You
what
know
I'm
what
saying
though?
is,
But
I'm not saying you're wrong about the getting into traffic, but you would be better off in the
I
long
drive
run in
I
terms of
think
your
it's
engine health at buying a V6.
I drive in eco. Well, the thing is, I have a twin turbo V6.
Well, I'm gonna give you some advice. Keep an eye on it, and I'll give you a second piece of
Yeah.
advice. Pay very close attention to what your warranty covers, because there are some magic words in warranties.
Oh,
As of course everybody
listen.
should
You're
know, but
always gonna get fucked in the
yeah,
warranty. It's a
yeah,
guarantee. Yeah,
yeah.
but I mean, what first off, I leave my car in eco mode because if I have a V6 twin turbo. If I don't have my car in eco mode, when I tap the pedal, I'm fucking doing 70. Right? Like the car is a monster and it wants to take off. So I'd leave it in eco mode to slow the bitch down. I mean, but I agree with you. It's like there's a lot of things that go wrong in these cars and a lot of things that we don't need, but I found that if I when I the bunch of times in my life where I've been in a four cylinder, I've had four cylinder cars without turbos and I've had four cylinder cars with turbos. Jersey traffic, North Jersey traffic is aggressive and mean, and if I didn't have a turbo, there's plenty of times where I would have gotten hawked. So I
Again, I will
understand.
warn people: if you are okay with a huge bill potentially, check your warranty and be aware of what the expense is to either rebuild an
But
engine or replace a turbo.
But I've never had a turbo blow. I mean, that's the why I'm kind of
You know
surprised.
what? You should not have said that out loud, because let me tell you something. There's a lot of it happening.
Is it the new turbos then? Because I mean, old turbos didn't seem to blow. I've had
No. The thing
I've
is
had, like,
that it can come out of nowhere. That's the thing.
but listen, that's everything in a car though. My brother got a Jeep.
No.
What is
It's
it?
not. It's not everything in a car. There
No,
are
no, no,
things
no,
that
no,
wear
no, I'm
down,
not
and
saying-
maintenance will keep an eye on it. But
There
these
is,
things can just fail.
What did he get? The Wagoneer. He got a Jeep Wagoneer, right? And it was a lemon. It was just a lemon of a car. Everything went wrong on that thing. And in the end, like the he had the opportunity. I feel bad in this little instance. He had the opportunity to use the lemon law to hand the car back in, but they were like, "No, we'll fix everything." And I think he took that option because he did like the car, so he was like, "Oh yeah, we'll just fix everything." And it was like, "Yeah, but shit just kept failing," and it was just a bad luck car. Do you know what I mean? And it's that idea that like sometimes I do think that sometimes you just get good cars and sometimes you get bad luck cars. Because I've had cars that have failed in weird, fucked up ways, and I've had cars where I've done terrible things to them and they just kept going.
Well, there's also the fact that a lot of primary systems now in cars are interconnected in ways they didn't used to be interconnected.
I mean they're
and so
it's a big
if
fucking
you don't
computer
catch
now.
something for a while, you have all these fail points that start getting introduced. So it will seem like
Yeah.
everything is just failing. Well, it's all because of
If your battery,
that was the
are you in a hybrid?
No, I wish.
If your battery and your hybrid dies, which can randomly happen, like this is one of those things. It
Yes,
can
it can.
happen. It can wear out, or it can just happen out of the blue.
Yeah,
That costs a fuck ton of money
it does.
to repair. And I think that's the thing is that there's all these. You say multiple points of failure. There's all these multiple things that if they go wrong, if you've got the bad luck of them going wrong, yeah, it's a big bill. It's a big bill. So,
Yeah.
I mean, will all turbos fail? Not necessarily, but can they fail? Yes, they can. And when they do,
they are prone to failure in ways that other parts of the engine aren't.
Is it specific to a brand or to all? Do you think it's
Nope. This is I have found out a lot about turbos, and I honestly didn't even know my car had one until this happened.
It only kicks in when you trigger it. That's the other thing. So you have to trigger the turbo.
Nope, incorrect. It does not only kick it. So what I'm saying is this: you do not know about turbos. Let me tell you something. I have found out a lot because I've been asking around to make sure I wasn't being told the wrong thing.
Yeah.
Plus, my wife works with her father, who's been in the automotive business for 40 plus years now. So, unfortunately, my dad's not around, or he probably would have warned me off this. No, the turbo does not just kick in when you need it.
Okay.
Not in cars where it's being used to artificially boost. Now, in yours, because you have a V6 with twins.
Is this how they're basically getting the power out of a V6?
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, in the
Yes.
Jeep, was it the Jeep? Oh, what was it? The Ranger. The I think it's the Ford Ranger. They put a 4-cylinder in it, And they said, "Oh, it's just as
this
powerful
is
as
what
a
they're
V6."
doing.
Okay.
Yes, that's exactly
Got
what
it.
I'm saying.
Now I understand what you're talking about.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Is it's because I was hitting it going from at 30 miles an hour or over, it would start happening.
That turbo is basically being used constantly.
That's
That's
and you start
why,
to notice the sound of it once you know what to listen for. You hear it.
Okay, that's why it's failing. Because the
Yes,
thing is,
and that's more common to make cheaper cars more palatable.
My car has a twin turbo V6. The V6 does almost everything I need it to do.
Yeah, you're fine because you're on a V6.
But I know when I hit the turbo. This is what I mean. I know when I've hit my turbo because I can see my gas tank slowly dropping because the power suddenly goes like through the roof.
I mean, you're also stressing the engine, but not the same way that a V4 with a
not even
turbo to make it a fake 6 is.
I'll take it a step further. I'm in a hybrid twin turbo V6.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like it's
no, you're not running into what a lot of people would be running into.
Yeah, but I understand what you mean
or a V8 because has the power.
Yeah, because the new Ford Rangers, they were like, it's just as much power as a V6, but you could do it with a 4. And yes,
that's how they're able to say that and not be completely lying about it. Yeah. But that
thing is, like,
every time that thing's coming in, it's pushing your engine.
When we were in college, I had a 4-cylinder Jetta. No turbo, just a Jetta, right? And that
my PT Cruiser was a non-turbo V4, and when I hit the gas pedal, I would count to 10 before it moved.
Yeah, well, yeah, but you know what? But when I ended up I liked my fucking Cruiser. When I got my PT Cruiser, because both Joe and I have both driven PT Cruisers, you know.
Yeah, I like that car. Exploded on me, but I liked it.
Mine was a 4-cylinder turbo, and what would happen was I would hit the gas again on the highway, and the turbo would be like wow, and then it would like shut off, and I'd just be cruising in the 4-cylinder. But that's the old.
I did not have a turbo. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the old 4-cylinder turbos where it was a 4-cylinder engine.
No, what you're talking about is where you need an extra boost of power temporarily.
Yes, and that's different. What the old 4-cylinders did.
Or what your car probably is doing because you have a V6. So most acceleration a V6 will handle. It's only when you're really pushing it that the turbos kick in.
I'll tell you, one of my favorite engines, if we're going to get car-y for a second here, one of my favorite engines was the hybrid V6 that was in the Toyota Highlander, right? No turbo, but it was a V6 hybrid. And it got pretty good mileage because of the hybrid, but it had a lot of power from the V6. So the second you needed it, that V6 power was there to do everything. And I felt that was a fucking fantastic engine. I don't know if I think the newer models are doing it now with a 4-cylinder. You know, but you know what? But on a hybrid,
on engines specifically, I'll tell you that the engine I really like.
Yeah. Well. we can't all have jet turbines, though.
I just want an excuse to win. I put in the 4K the other day and I just watched that scene. And man, it just never gets old.
I have watched that clip a few times on YouTube. We can't all have jet turbines.
As soon as you said if you want to get into cars, I'm like, I will find a way to play this sound clip. Somehow I will find a way.
I think inevitably everybody. Now, you know, I think it's boys. I think inevitably all boys at some point or another you're sitting there and you want the Batmobile, you want the Dukes of Hazzard car, you want that cool, fast supercar, and then at some point or another you're like, you know what, the 4-cylinder's fine, it'll get me to work. Like
I always want
your budget. Your budget kicks in, and you're like, it's okay.
I'm well aware. I have been well aware for most of my life that I should never drive that type of car. Not only would it terrify me, but I wouldn't be a good driver in that scenario.
I'm in a weird situation because when my kids were born, I was in a van, and I was in a van for years. I like a van, and I'm out of a van now because they changed the design when they hybridized them. They changed the design, and I don't like it. They changed safety features, and I didn't like it. And I live someplace now where there's like 10 times the normal amount of deer anywhere else in New Jersey. So it's like, well, fuck me. I was like, I want a tank. And I ended up in a Sequoia, and like, I never thought that I'd be the type of person who'd be in a Sequoia. It seems big. It's kind of like, but like the it's such a whale of a car. It's kind of grown on me. Um,
Yeah.
but the thing is like that engine is that is the biggest engine I have ever had, and it's
Mm.
like kind of scary because the power in that thing, and I have driven a V8. I never owned a V8, but I have driven a V8, and like it is impressive how fast those things go. But like a twin turbo V6, I mean, talk about that extra push. That extra push
Mm.
jams you up to high speeds before you even know what's going on. It's just
Yeah.
it's very funny. So it's kind of a weird thing that I'm in a big boat of a car, but I've also got the biggest engine I've ever had in my life, and I'm kind of sitting there going, "It's too much, it's too much." But granted, that thing is such a whale that it needs the engine just to move its ass. I mean, so no, neither of us should be in a sports car. I mean, neither of us I think would
No.
fit very well either. I mean,
No, no,
they're
certainly
weird
not.
to sit in.
They are. I remember getting it out of a Corvette and being like, yeah, this is not going to
Yeah.
be something I can drive.
Honestly,
Not comfortably.
was it like a Corvette SRT8 or a Dodge, or was it
Mm.
what is it? Like those cars. Those I find those to be a nice sitting position. But I mean that power, what is it? Is it the Hellcat? Where it's like it's got all this power, but
Oh,
you can't
yeah,
fucking
yeah,
control
yeah.
it.
Yeah, well, I mean, that was the dream car of mine was also a car that controlled terribly, which was the C3 version of the Corvette. They handled like shit. So, I mean, even if I got one and could fit into it comfortably, which I could
Yeah,
not,
it's like an
it
unstable
drives, it steers like a miserable fuck. So, plus it's made of nothing. You hit anything with that in the entire car and you crumple. I mean, it's not. You'd have to get one with a roll cage in it to survive. So,
rocket. Oh man, yeah,
but
it's
I
funny.
fucking love like the Mako 2 is a beautiful car. The 78 Stingray is a beautiful car. Like
Oh well,
I
if you
fucking
want to
love
start,
them, but I can never
listen,
drive them.
it's very possible that in the near future, not in the near future, but when it comes time to buy a car again for me, I will probably look at classic, like
I agree. I
yeah,
really I want to look at that because
a bit of a let.
I don't like what they're doing to new ones.
I hate the fact that the cars are spying on you, the cars are reporting on you, the cars like, there's kind of a weird nanny function to cars now, where it's like the cars like, you know, like
Well, even beyond
man.
that, the repairability on them is miserable because everything is all run off of boards.
Yeah,
Like you can't.
yeah.
I'm going to send you a picture of my favorite Corvette of all time, which is the two-tone ~78 Stingray. Now, if you look at that
Oh, the
picture that I
Stingrays are
sent in the
pretty.
chat.
Yeah,
Now, look, you see that line where the two-tone is?
yeah.
Anything below that line should not be electronic at all. That's my opinion. Everything above can be. You want to have a backup camera, all
Hey,
that shit, fine.
listen,
But below,
but
no.
you can drop those on after the fact.
Well, I agree. But what I'm saying
Yeah.
is that's the dream for me. Is I
Yeah.
would not mind if the options were that you could have below the
I-
belt all old school and everything above can be electronic. That's fine.
I told my wife
I want
at the end of
AC.
the
I want
day-
that shit.
No,
but
no. At
not-
the end of the
not
day,
the gear stuff.
I want a solid engine. I want a radio, and I want a heater and an AC. And otherwise, like that's it. That's really all I need. I don't need a screen.
I do. I will
you
say
know,
this. I do.
I can plug
want a
my
backup
phone
camera.
in. Like with a tape deck. They still make those.
Oh, I do. I do want the sensor on the back because one thing that has become more common
Yeah.
is people come flying out of nowhere on bikes
Oh,
and now
the
these
sensor-
like
and the
e-bikes
sensor
which
picks
go a
them
lot
up.
faster.
Yeah.
Yeah, the sensor will beep and the radar can see them, and that is, I do believe that has stopped me from hitting people. Not because I pull out real slow. I drive like a grandma.
No, but they're going real fast.
They come and they're not
Yeah.
looking. They have headphones on. They got their fucking AirPods in, all this shit. They're not paying attention, and that has probably stopped me from being blamed for somebody being injured when it wasn't my fault. So that I have realized I do want. I don't need the shit where it warns me about changing lanes. It's nice, but I do turn my head and look, which I know
You
is
know what?
something that
I get
doesn't
angry
exist
with it because
anymore.
my car is constantly telling me that I'm gonna have an accident, and I'm like, "Shut up, car. We're fine." Because like, okay, when my kids are in the car, I'm a lovely driver. When my kids are not in the car
Sure.
and I have places to be, I can be a bit aggressive a driver. I don't like to be an inconsiderate aggressive driver. Like, I'm not tailgating people. I'm not like coming right up on people. I hate that. But like, if I got to swerve around traffic a bit, I try to be, as diplomatic about it as I can. But, there are times where the car thinks that something is going to happen, and I'm aware that it isn't. And it starts making all these noises at me, and I'm just like, shut the fuck up, car. You are distracting me from the art of driving.
I don't mind the noises. I don't want it to start. I don't want it to start acting for me. If it wants to warn me, I can ignore that. Yeah. What I don't want is it just like try to push me back into a lane.
Yeah. What about when they start trying to counter drive for you? My van had that.
I don't want
it would
that.
It would try to nudge me back.
Yeah.
And I was like, no.
And see, and here's what's going to happen. I already know where this is going, right? Because they're always going to make it where you're going to be able to turn it off. They're going to have to, because it could have problems, and so you have to be able to disable it.
Till they don't.
But, No. What's going to happen is it's going to be linked to your insurance, and if you have it off, your insurance rate's going to go up. That's what's going to happen. They're going to do it that way. I already know that's coming.
But that's how they're going to do it anyway.
We're not forcing you.
If you and I show up with like 1970s cars, they're going to be like, "Oh, you're not driving a robo nanny car? Well, your insurance is going to go up."
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah.
You know what? What'll be interesting is if in the next 50 years we get some kind of strange electromagnetic pulse from space that fries everything. Honestly, that would be really.
Oh yeah.
Everybody writes about the day the Earth turned off and all this shit. And don't be wrong, if that happened, it would be pretty horrible. A lot of people would die.
Yeah, it would. Yeah.
But it does fascinate me, the idea of what culturally the human race how they would rebuild after they know that a random pulse from space can shut everything off.
Oh, sure.
How does that culture rebuild itself?
Well, you're going to have shielded electronics. It will be a much... What you will find is that everything is going to get slightly bigger.
But shielding can get expensive, so how much of stuff is just going to get mechanical?
Or it can be expensive, or what they'll do is everything is going to get a lot bigger because they're going to shield it, and the expense comes from making it minimal, is from making it small and out of sight. Shielding itself can be relatively cheap, but to be cheap, it's going to be bulky. So you're talking about cars that are 50% thicker because all the wiring is going to be 50% thicker. So your aerodynamics go right out the fucking window.
Well, because, can they really shield against an electromagnetic pulse?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. No, Air Force One is shielded.
Okay.
You can have an EMP and Air Force One stays in the air. Now, you can do it. But it's to keep it from influencing the size, you have to make it's expensive. But you can do it.
Interesting.
I mean,
So I just wonder if a lot more people would suddenly be like, you know what? I want a mechanical car. My car just died. Teslas would be dead in the water. I mean, every car would be dead in the water.
Well, sure.
Except for the classic Corvettes rolling around.
Yeah. I'm not, look, it don't get me wrong. It will get expensive, but it can be done. It's not practical for everything. But the reality is you wouldn't really need to shield the entire car. You'd have to shield the electronics. Let's say your ECP or the electronics control board or what ECB, I guess. It would be in a box. It would be in a Faraday box of some kind that would ground, and that's how it would happen. It would dissipate into the rest of the car. Now, in the near term, yes, it would be expensive because nobody would know how to do it on scale. They would never have had to. But it can be done.
Yeah, rebuilding
Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny because you never expect something like that to happen until it happens. It's like the whole lockdown thing, right? No one expected they were going to live through a medical lockdown in their lifetime. But it's the same. Just like there's probably people who are like, I'm living through a world war. You never expect to live through that, and then it happens, and you're like, holy shit! And then life changes.
Like magnetic shielding. It doesn't actually block it. What it does is it routes it like a grounded wire around the stuff. Yeah. I mean, it's actually really interesting.
I wonder how much...
Read about how magnetic and electromagnetic shielding works. It's interesting.
I wonder how much shit is already shielded, on a widespread level.
Not as much as they're... Let's put it this way. The power lines sure the fuck aren't. Some of them are. The newer stuff is, but they haven't retrofit them. Well, actually, the funny part is there's shielding in everything that any electronics you use have some form of shielding. It's just not universal because there's interference that's generated just from the passage of power.
Yes,
you have to
yes,
shield,
right,
like your cell phone
yeah.
has shielding and stuff
Yeah.
like that because of antennas and everything. So there's some degree of shielding.
Man. Yeah, remember when you could pass like your phone, early cell phones, you pass them like near the microwave, or like you pass them past the wrong radio, and like you get like a whining
and they would
signal.
interfere. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if you remember monitors, if you had certain things near the monitors, you get the rainbow glow because the interference was hitting it.
Yeah.
You almost never get that anymore. You really have to, you have to look for
No,
something
I mean,
to do it, but it's not
monitors have become so stable by comparison.
yeah,
to what they
but I mean,
used
I'm
to be
holding my
like.
cell phone right near my monitor now, and there's no interference from it.
Oh,
Whereas
God,
before, you had to be careful. Well, I mean, it was not permanent unless you left it there. It was just something that was funny. Unless you really, if you went near it with something serious, like a degaussing.
Well, listen,
or something
lasers
like that, yeah,
lasers will still take out your fucking camera. If someone nails your like that's a thing that still can easily happen.
Listen, you get a powerful enough laser, you can take out a lot of things. and they're shockingly easy to get. It's not like powerful lasers are hard to acquire.
No,
They're not.
I mean, you can blow out an eyeball pretty easily.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Easily is right.
It graduates beyond that. Yes.
No, yeah. But what I'm saying is,
I'm reminded of Philip K. Dick and his one character trying to pass a laser through the reborn Messiah's head, and instead blew a hole through it.
Yeah. I mean, the interesting part is how many really dangerous things are fairly easy to get, up to a certain scale.
Yeah,
it's usually scale that gets you, but on smaller measures, you can get dangerous stuff real easy.
Well, I was reading an article the other day about collecting atomic material, and how if you are like an antiques collector, over time you could collect quite a bit of atomic material. Because it used to be in all sorts of things.
I was going to say one of the easiest ways is to get surplus stuff, like surplus medical equipment that seems antiquated and if it's not properly cleaned.
Didn't they put atomic material in certain glass at a certain point, which is why it glows?
Well, at one point, yes. At one point, it was in everything before they knew what it was doing.
And they used to put it in antique watches to make the
radium
hands glow.
Before, the radium stuff.
So it's actually really interesting how much like atomic
chemistry kits would have it. You could get
I saw that.
And you buy enough of them, and it's going to start to add up. It is additive, so you can do it.
There's your scaling,
yeah.
I mean, I don't think anyone's going to build.
You don't have to buy a warhead to acquire nuclear material for a dirty bomb. You really
wouldn't
don't.
Wouldn't that be hilarious to have someone basically go through that process, like over like a decade, collect all this shit through antiques to build like a small dirty bomb?
I'm sure people have tried.
It's like something out of a bad movie.
Well, I think at this point they do have better detectors for a lot of it, so they can tell when it's at a dangerous level. But
and have you seen radium glass in person?
I've never seen it in person. I've seen like video of it. Sure.
So my tattooist's wife has a whole collection of radium glass in like a cabinet, and it is so like weirdly haunting to like see, especially when you put it doesn't just glow. It has kind of a weird yellow cast to it, but when you put a black light on it, it glows like fucking bright as shit.
Yeah, that's the video I've seen, is where they turn the light off.
It is
quite. What it looks like.
It is quite ghostly when you look at it, and you realize what it is.
When you see it in normal, it just looks like it's bad glass, like something's wrong with it.
Yeah, it's like a yellow tint to it.
It's just really ancient, and then you hit it with a light, and the shit just turns into the fucking Green Lantern. I mean, that's what it looks like. It looks like the Green Lantern is manifesting it.
Have some cups and saucers, yeah.
It's like haunted castle type shit.
Yeah, very much so.
I mean, it's neat.
Yeah, except it's.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be near it for too long, but it's neat.
Well, I wanted to share. Oh wait, are you done with programming notes? Because we totally got off camp. We were talking
God. I think so. I think I already mentioned last time I'm going to be on the Halloween trivia episode of Heartbeat Hero Radio. And then me and Doug are going to be on the November one, and I think that's it for... Is there anything else? Yeah, I think that's it for now.
All right.
As far as I know.
So,
I did a test, a disastrous test, of trying to... I have a GoPro now that I was going to try to film myself painting with. So, a couple things I learned in testing.
Yes.
I got one of these headbands.
Yeah.
Can't do that. because it's really annoying, and it got really warm, and it overheated after about 20 something minutes and shut itself off. So I found out that there's ways to stop the overheating, but I'm going to get a chest mount for it because I think that's going to be better for the angle
Yeah,
anyway.
the angle on that's gonna be weird though.
Well, you can adjust the angle so it points because the head angle I had to kind of I didn't even look at the footage yet because it overheated and I was sweating to death anyway because it was 90 degrees. But it does. I made the angle work from my head, and I think my chest is actually going to be better in terms of from where my eyes are. I think it's easier to angle it up at the canvas than down because when I paint, I tend to tilt my head up. I've learned now how my head moves because I was paying attention to where the camera was, and I tend to tilt my head up for some reason. I really don't know why, whereas my chest doesn't tilt. So if I just kind of tilt the camera slightly up, you'll be able to see what I'm doing. Whereas from my head, I had to keep remembering to point my head down, which was really strange. So I'm trying to get that working because people have asked. They've said, "Oh, it'd be neat to see," because not that I'm going to be an instructor, but they are interested in why I make the decisions I make, and I do tend to talk to myself as I'm doing it, like, I don't like that cloud or whatever, and do different shit. So I'm still working on that.
A little fluffy cloud.
Not in my case. This one today is a nuclear cloud. What a surprise!
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah, bright orange oxide, like the new iPhone color. That's one of them.
Well, if you suddenly find bearded Snow White trending online, you may discover that it is me. And I gotta share this story because it kind of caught me out of nowhere. Like, this is really one of the weirdest things that has happened to me. So today while we're recording
Baby's first viral experience.
Oh man, this is weird. So today when we recorded this, I was this earlier in the day. I was at the New York Renaissance Festival. I go every year. Some years I dress up, some years I don't. Of late, I've had kind of a pirate slant going because I have, how you build up costume pieces for something and then you just kind of mix and match and my kids are kind of getting into it now, which is fun, right? It's fun to have nerdy kids, and but like my son was getting very caught up with like cool, like he's into this whole thing where he's like, oh, I want it to be cool, and I'm like, it doesn't, it doesn't. Cool is very. I kept saying cool is very deceptive, man. I was like, what you think is cool, other people might not think is cool. I was like, how about you just find something that feels right to you? It doesn't need to be cool necessarily. And we kept going back and forth, and I was kind of getting annoyed with this like unending desire. Like there's this like, it's almost like he wants to look so badass, but like in his efforts to like the pursuit of badassery, like it ends up looking kind of silly. You know what I mean? So I thought to myself, what could I do that would just completely like just go left, go left field on this, right? And years ago at a Halloween party, I dressed up like Snow White. And it was just a Halloween party, and everyone got a really good laugh out of it. And I found that it was actually quite comfortable because all I had to do was wear shorts and then pull this like big thing over my body. And I thought it was quite funny, and a good time was had. And I thought, you know what? What if I just show up as Snow White? I was like, if so, my wife thought it was a hilarious idea, and then we thought even better, we won't tell anybody. So the morning of, I'll just show up, and it's fucking Snow White time, right? And we got a funny wig, and we got a dress that was like a triple XL women's. It was like a plus size women's dress, which actually fit me oddly better than my normal clothes. Getting back to the whole like lifting weights thing, I have like a 52 chest, but then I have like a 38 waist. So most men's clothes, like if you have a big chest, then it's just like a tube down. They don't really slim it, right? Whereas this dress did slim down because women do slim. So I was like, oh, oddly this fits really well. So this morning I rolled out as Snow White, and my kids died of laughter, which is great. My mother was also with us, so she died of laughter, which is great because fun is the point, right? And we're all dressed up variously. We went to the Ren Fair, and I thought nothing of it. I thought that some people would get a laugh. I worried that I wouldn't offend anyone because that's the age that we live in. And otherwise, I figured, I'm not going to be the strangest person at the Ren Fair. My wife did, however, say to me that I was causing a lot of almost like what's it like almost like a cognitive dissonance in her because the dress is all like it's a Snow White dress, so it's like velvety and it's like blue and yellow, and then but my dimensions do not like fit that. And if anything, you know how it has like kind of the billowy sleeves, those made my shoulders just look bigger. And she's like, you walk around in this dress and it looks like Snow White is gonna kill somebody. Like it's not the physical posture that you would put in that dress, which I thought was very funny. So we got to the Ren Fair, and I was really expecting a few people to get a laugh, and then it would just become that's it. I think 20 people took pictures with me. It started little by little, and then all these people like, can we get a picture with you? Can we get a picture? I mean, young girls, older girls, a few guys, little girls with their moms, with their dads, like, and then the amount of commentary I got. I jokingly said to my son, I was like, I'm gonna get more compliments than you, like kind of as a joke. When we hit like 40 or 50, I was like, fucking done. Like, this is just weird. My wife's like, are you ready to leave? I was like, yeah, I think I am. I was like, this is too much. I was like, fucking hell, man. For some reason, a massively built Snow White with a beard really appeals to people, and they all thought it was hilarious. I was getting like weird fist bumps from people driving by in cars, and that's just the strangest shit. And then I was like, holy crap, you know what? These people are taking pictures of you. So they're like, oh my god, I saw bearded Snow White at the Red Fair. And like, most people take pictures because they're going to post them online, right? So I was like, oh shit. It's like, is bearded Snow White going to suddenly trend at the Red Fair? It was weird. Like, I am not used to being. I said to you, like, I work best when unseen. Jesus Christ, man! I was at the center of a lot of shit in this, and it was very strange to me. So yeah. So if you see a bearded Snow White in the future who's very jacked and covered in tattoos, that might just be me. I think the tattoos added to it as well. And Joe, you've seen the picture, so you know what I look like.
Oh yeah, I posted it on the website.
Did you really?
No, I didn't. I wouldn't do that without asking you first. You know that.
Oh man, it was so weird. Like
Well, so far I haven't found you on Twitter.
No, and the thing is, I haven't seen it yet. I'm hoping.
I'm gonna look on Instagram now.
Was that?
I'm looking at Instagram now because that's where it would be.
Well, that is probably where it would be, but I don't know how they would list it. Like, is it bearded Snow White? Is it
No, it would be hashtag Ren Fair. There's that I found.
Yeah, tuxedo Ren Fair. Yeah.
Yeah, Ren Fair Tuxedo Park comes right up. Let's see. Hold on.
That'd be funny.
Oh, God, there's so many fucking pictures.
Well, here's the thing. There's lots of people dressed up, and there's lots of cosplayers, and there's lots of stuff. So, like, I'll
know you if I see you right away.
Oh, you will know me if you see me. But I am 100% not the only person who's got photographs and all this shit. It was just weird because I've never had that before. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't think it was that. I thought it was like, kind of a mild laugh.
Oh, I thought that was you.
I did not think that it was going to be the fucking thing that it was. So.
There was a large Snow White, but it was not you.
I'll tell you what. Today at the park, there were three Snow Whites, right? Two of them were like 6-year-old girls, and then there was me. And this one mom who was carrying one of the Snow Whites, she saw me and she got so excited, and I was like, why does everyone get so excited about a giant tattooed Snow White?
Well, okay, you know why. Because every ordinary princess looks the same. All the elf girls all have huge cleavage and look the same. All the guys have axes and look the same. There's a lot of repetition. So to see something out of the ordinary is going to draw attention. You are not built like a normal person.
No, I'm
Plus,
not.
you're in a dress.
Yes. I guess it's a spectacle.
That's the reason. That's the reason. I don't need to say anything else. I've explained.
I just didn't think it was going to be quite the spectacle it was. I'm not used to that kind of attention. It's very weird. My wife is like, "You're going to do this again next year?" I'm like, "Fuck no!" It's like I'm going to go back to being an invisible pirate. Except I wasn't, because that year everyone thought that I was Shmi from fucking Hook.
You might as well just lean into it. You're done.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I am not. I so want to be invisible, but I can't be invisible, and it's very upsetting because like my nature is to not.
Nope.
Like I dressed up like Snow White.
Not unless I'm looking for you.
Yeah, I know, right? I dressed up like Snow White because I thought it would be a funny kind of lesson to my kids. That's like, hey, you don't need to look badass to have fun. You could just have fun, right? And you don't. It's not that. It's that you shouldn't be like shy about things because you're just having fun. It's not a mission statement. It's not it's not like this isn't, the statement about you as a person. You're just having fun. And I had a lot of fun being a silly presence. And I did my best to smile and laugh and give people a big grin. And I tried to be, but you know how fucking utterly draining that is to me. Like, I got out of that place, and I thought that I had, done a marathon. Like, I was so fucking tired, and I was just like, Jesus, this is too much. This is too many people for me. And it was, it really was endless. Like, people were calling out Snow White left and right. Like, it was just, and this following the day before, one of the strangest things that has ever happened to me at a red light, which was that I pulled up to a red light. I've in North Jersey when all this happened. I pulled up to a red light with my son, and I had the windows down, and there was a turn lane to my left. And I suddenly hear someone go, "Hey, man!" And I look to the left, and I'm like, "Oh shit, what is this going to be?" And there were two men, white guys, bearded, sitting in I think it was like a Charger or something like that. And then one guy the driver goes, "Hey man, I love your beard. Do you use oil?" And I was like, "What the fuck?" I was like, sometimes. And they're like, "Who do you use?" And I was like, it's like I sometimes use Beard Struggle, although I've used a lot of other things. And he was like, "Oh, I love that company." And what proceeded was a massive conversation between me and two strangers about the nature of how lovely my beard is and what products I use. Before they wished me a good night, I wished them a good night, and then they took a left, and I went straight, and I was like, "What the fuck is that about?" I was like, it's like the universe is trying to send me some kind of message where it's like, "Please, man, don't give up on the human race. There were nice people at the red light. They loved your Snow White dress, but have you ever had that at a red light? Like, and the fact that it was two grown men." And they were like big guys too. Like, they didn't look, it wasn't like a metrosexual necessarily conversation. Like, they really just liked my beard and they want to know what I did to have a beard like that. Strange. It was just so strange. Like, this is why I try not to, venture too far away from the house sometimes. Oh,
well, I would argue that the point that you were trying to make, you made, because if people reacted positively, then I'm sure some of that was to tell younger people, "Hey, you can do whatever you want.
Well,
Don't worry about it. Look, look at
that's
this specimen of weirdness."
Yeah, it's like,
and I was having this weird,
and I was having fun. It didn't get my way,
See?
I was still
Not
wearing
all
shorts
bad.
underneath. I'm not brave enough to go, shortless. But like, yeah, and my kids had a good time. We all had a good laugh about it. But my kids were stupefied by the attention.
Well,
like I said, the number of photographs I took with people. And I'm kind of like,
they're used to you hating everything, so social.
Well, they know I do, but they also
That's
know
what
that
I'm
I'm
saying. So of course they would be mystified by this.
But I can't help but be nice. Because the thing is, like, I hate it, but I'm also not the type. I won't be rude. You know, so it's like
Well, I mean, if the people aren't, then
no, and
why
no,
would
and
you?
they were all very nice, you know. But I
Yeah,
was sitting there just thinking, my God, where are these photos going?
sure.
Like, yeah. So I just wanted to share this very weird experience of mine.
Hmm.
So if you see a large, tattooed, bearded Snow White on the internet, it might be me. Yep. There you
The
go.
good news for you is just in my brief
You
search,
couldn't find
what
anything?
what I predictably found most were women bouncing their boobs in tight
Okay,
dresses.
there you go. Oh, but by the
So
way, let me tell you,
you'll be fine.
having hair. So I don't. I've been bald now for like 20 years. Having hair is fucking annoying. I had this little. I had a
Yeah,
bob wig, and let me tell you, it just kept getting in my face. Couldn't keep it
yeah.
behind my ears. Shit was all over the place. The wind blew it. Like, I mean, I am not a fan of having hair. At some point or other, I had hair, but geez, man, like, I'm out of practice. It's just weird. My son's got long hair, and he was like, "No, it's okay." I'm like, "It's okay for you. You're used to this." I was like, "If we shaved your head, you'd be sitting there going, what are all those weird wind currents?" You've
Well,
never shaved your no, you've never shaved your head.
oh no, I've never shaved my head. My
Yeah.
head is
So when
shaving
you,
itself slowly.
but that's different. When you shave your head, one of the first thing, and you've had hair for a while, one of the first things you notice is all these like weird air currents in the room, like going off, like,
Well, yeah, I've noticed that with if I shave my facial hair off,
oh
I
yeah,
can
you're right. When you've
feel
shit, yeah,
everything. Yeah,
yeah. But that's it's like your whole head's like that.
yeah.
You know. So when I took the wig off finally at the end, so in the parking lot, I pulled off my wig and my head was so happy to be bald again, and then I pulled my dress off and I drove home just in my shorts with my tattoos out. It was quite liberating.
I would
Yeah,
imagine.
yeah, oh yeah. So, but I was lucky because the last time I had a Snow White costume, it was long sleeve, and this one was a short sleeve, which was so much more ventilated. So yes. So I guess cross dressing can be fun.
Well, people have known that forever. I mean, right? I mean,
Yeah.
that's not news. Cross dressing has been fun for a long time.
But I'm hoping that my kids got the lesson that you can be counter stereotypical and still have a really
Yeah,
fun time.
yeah.
You know, it's one of those life lessons I'm hoping that they caught from it. We'll see.
Well, I would imagine just the fact that you had the in as a general rule. Well, actually, this is a question.
Yeah.
Do your children enjoy the kind of do they post on places their pictures? Or are they
No.
non-social that way?
No. No. They don't. My kids don't have any social media.
Well, then it's hard to say if they would care about it as much. It's more people who are into kind of being recognized and having, their pictures seen and that type of thing. I think it's more of an appeal for. I would guess.
Yeah. And
I
whereas
mean,
my mindset is just as an effort in how you carry yourself.
well, I was going to say as a means to say don't worry about what the world thinks of you. Well, that's great.
Just have fun. Yeah.
Whether the but the fun of it will have to be self-generated.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, what's funny is that so later today, I was at a dinner, and I was just in a Hawaiian shirt, and I had a big purple hat on, big purple. It's not a cowboy hat. It was like a shadow hat. All right, so if you look at it, you would probably think of the shadow. So it's like a big brim, but it's like a fedora top, and it's purple. And a waiter stopped and said, "Hey, I love your hat. I could never wear it because I don't have the confidence, but I really love your hat." And I told him, I was like, "It's not confidence. It's just not giving a shit." And I think that's where I'm at, which is that I don't give a shit. I wear what feels right to me, and I'm confident because it feels right. Like I don't have confidence. I just feel right. So I just have to trust myself that I feel right. And luckily, I haven't done anything crazy. Because that's the
Sure.
thing. If you it's that character that suddenly discovers that they're a sociopath, and they're like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "I thought it was okay to kill animals," and then you're like, "No, dude." I was like,
Right.
"I know it feels right, but that's wrong." I haven't had any of that. I just dress weird, and but I think it's that idea that there's people. For me, it's hard to fathom the idea of putting something on and going, I really love this, but what will people think? Or what, it's like I'm just like, if it feels right, then fuck the world. Right? I mean, granted, it's not that it felt right being dressed as Snow White so much as it felt right having that much fun.
Sure. Sure.
You know?
I get it.
In fact, I had a weird vibe that dressed as a bearded Snow White, I was more likely to get a date than if I were not dressed as a bearded Snow White. Isn't that a weird? My wife was saying to me, she's like, it's a confidence thing. She's like, whether you have it or not, a man who is willing to strut across an entire fair dressed as Snow White pervades a certain level of confidence, whether it's real or not. And I was like, yes, you know what? I get that. It's not real. Like, I'm just having fun. But nonetheless, yeah, I hate hair. Oh, God, it just goes everywhere. Like, honestly, I know you hate your ponytail because it's slowly retracting, but at least it's in the back of your head.
No, I love that. I hate that the front is the retracting.
I know, but the thing is, it's the front part that gets in your fucking face.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't have to worry about that as much as I
You know
used
what? I'm going to ask you a question because we like to
Yeah.
ask each other weird questions.
to. Sure.
If I could give you all your hair back, right? But you'd have to have bangs. Would you take your hair back?
Well, it depends how short I have to be. No, because I pull my hair back, so bangs won't work.
Oh, no. You could pull the rest of it back, but you'd have to have that haircut. We have a ponytail.
No.
with bangs.
That looks stupid. No.
So even if I could give you all your hair back, bangs are a non-negotiable.
Nah, they're non-negotiable because the. Hold on, I want to look at something. Where is it?
You're looking up haircuts?
Something. No, well, I mean, the mental self-image I have is basically Big Boss from, like, Snake Eater. Or really, actually Metal Gear Solid 5, so if I look up MGS
What do you mean, like,
if you look at that image,
your inner you?
I mean, he kind of has bangs, I guess. So, yeah, I guess I could put up with it if I could look like that.
Big Boss from which one?
Just look up Metal Gear Solid 5 and look at the profile picture of him, or the front one. Yeah, he does have bangs. He's got a mullet, basically. But he has that little offshoot ponytail thing.
Oh, yeah,
If you see the profile. That's what I want to look like.
Jeez.
Ideally, that's what I look like in my head. That's not what I look like in actuality.
I don't even know what I look like anymore in my head.
I do. I want to get that eye patch though. That eye patch is bitching.
There's a part of me that thinks I still thinks I look like a small child in my head.
Well, we all have that. I mean,
but then there's this other part of me. Honestly, there's another part of me that imagines me looking like the Max.
Oh, I could see that. Sure.
Yeah, except covered in black leather.
Yeah.
It's not even black leather anymore. Just dark shades of leather, reds and purples, and
Yeah.
I do love the design of the Max. If I had to have a comic book had to be made of my life, I would want Sam Keith to do it. As far as design.
Yeah. No, I completely see where you're coming from.
Yeah, I mean, you would rather have Katsuhiro Otomo, right?
Oh yeah, or well, the three I would probably Katsuhiro Otomo would be the top one. I would be interested in what Coop would do with me. That'd be kind of funny if I were to tell him all my peccadillos and weird quirks and kinks. I imagine that would be an imaginative illustration.
I think that I think you would be very easy for Coop because I don't think you're that far off. Like I think that Coop to some degree is like an id version of you.
Sure.
Like it's when I look knowing you and then looking at kind of the little that I understand about Coop as a person, he seems like your id.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree.
So I don't think you'd be that far off.
Probably not. That's what I mean. But
he does have great hair.
He does.
And he still has great hair. We are two unfortunate hair cases.
No, and I have kind of realized at this point that I was watching I never remember which of the George Carlins. I don't remember the titles anymore. I can identify which jokes are in them.
Yeah.
And it's the one where he's talking about how, the right wants a lot of babies that can grow up to be dead soldiers, which is one of my, I think,
That's
one of his best and most
That's
insightful
not back.
jokes
That's
he ever
not
made.
back in New York, right?
I don't remember, but
Okay.
he was losing his hair and he never got rid of the ponytail. I'm like, you know what? I'm never shaving my head. Fuck it. If he could do it,
No,
then
but
I
the
can do
thing
it.
is, it
Whatever.
doesn't. Listen, it doesn't look bad. I mean, listen, Shakespeare.
No,
Shakespeare
no.
had a curtain, and that was his look.
Yeah.
He had the goatee and the curtain.
It'll be
and
the
that was
wreath.
how
I mean, my dad had the wreath, and I'll
and
have
that's
the
how
wreath.
he was immortalized. And the thing is, if you're, this goes back to dressing up like fucking Snow White. If you are, if this is what you like and it feels right, then fuck the world.
I just can't imagine not having a ponytail.
There you
it's
go.
so part of me. So
Yeah. So then fuck it.
yeah,
Just
that's
keep,
it.
just keep, keep it on.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I could imagine having hair. My wife asked me the other day. She's like, if they made hair transplants like really, really easy, and you could just suddenly have hair. I was like, I wouldn't even know what the fuck to do with it. I was like, honestly, as evident from today, it would get in my way and drive me fucking mad. I like having a shaved head. Space monkey, ready to be shot into space. Like.
Yeah.
But, however, I am getting very attached to having a beard. And I've had a beard now for many years, and I don't think I could not have a beard. So maybe that's, the different version where it's like, you couldn't imagine having a ponytail. If I don't have a beard, it looks weird. Like, even just like a goatee now. Like, I'm so used to being a bearded fucker that, like, it'd be weird not to be.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess that's like my face ponytail.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, that's yeah.
Yeah.
I suppose a goatee is, or sorry,
A beard.
a beard is a face.
You have a
ponytail.
goatee. I have a beard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't imagine not having that anymore either.
Exactly, because you get your brain starts to get, I think, it's solidified your mental image.
Yeah. I mean, even I wish it would just go full white already. I don't like this salt and pepper stuff because it just makes my face look dirty.
Oh fuck it! I just dyed it.
I don't.
You know what? Listen,
I don't like the idea of it.
My mother dyed her hair. So in my family, we go white early. My mother was fully white when she was in her 30s, right? And for a while, she was like, "Oh, I'm just gonna let it be natural." And then I think one day I know what happened. One day she was with my sister, and somebody was like, "Hey, is that your grandma?" And my mother was like, "Fuck this!" And she dyed it jet black, which was pretty much the color of her hair growing up, and she never looked back. And she never lied about it. That's the other thing. And this is why I'm very honest about it. It's like she never lied about it. She was always like, "Yeah, fuck, I dye my hair. Of course I dye my hair. It's fucking white." And only after my father passed away was she like, "You know what? I don't need to dye my hair anymore." And by that time, her hair was just like white. I mean, she's got silver hair now. It's actually really amazing, like how the colors of it, because it is silver. Like, it's not white, it's silver. But it's like, yeah, you know what? I used to have a beard that was full of colors. There was like red and blonde and all sorts of weird hair color in there, and then it went white. I mean, my beard is essentially mostly white and gray at this point. And I was like, no, I'm not ready to be Santa Claus. I'll get there. I don't mind dressing up as the fat jolly guy, but I'm not ready to have a white beard, and I just dye it. And a couple times I've dyed it colors that I regretted. When my kids were like, "Why can't you dye it purple?" And I was like, "You know what? Why can't I dye it purple?" And then I realized I couldn't take myself seriously with a purple beard. It's just very difficult, So yeah, I fucking dye my beard, and and honestly, if people meet me with a dyed beard, they have no sense of how old I am. I had this recently where somebody basically asked me if I was in like my mid 30s, and I was like, "Dude, I am not in my mid 30s. I am in my mid 40s." I was like, so if all I need to do is hair dye and lift weights, and people can confuse me for someone in their mid 30s, then that seems like practical magic to me.
I don't disagree.
All right, so yeah.
Yeah.
Plus, beard dye is so much easier than hair dye. Hair dye is like acid, and it like burns the air, and you have to leave it in your hair for an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, beard dye takes 5 minutes. It
I
doesn't
have a
smell like death.
strange
Yeah.
aversion to putting chemicals on my head.
That's totally
I
that's
don't know
totally
why.
sound. You know what? No, listen.
Yeah.
That's totally sound.
I mean, non-necessary, I guess.
Some people smoke cigarettes, some people drink, some people do.
Oh,
I like to dye
yeah,
my beard.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
but like I
Smoke
said,
addict.
but I don't try to hide the fact. I'm very obvious about it.
Yeah.
I don't like the color it is, you know. But you know what? I used to dye my hair in college too. When I had hair color, dyed it blue, dyed it blonde, dyed it orange, dyed it. I don't think I ever dyed it red. But like I fucked around with my hair, you know. And I think that's probably why I don't have it, because my head was like, dude, fuck you and all this screwing around. And yeah, then I was just like, I'm gonna leave now. So maybe one day I'll do the Shakespeare. Just do the curtain.
Sure.
Just have the goatee.
Yeah.
That would look weird. No beard.
Yeah, I'm used to it now. I don't appreciate that it's happening. Don't get me wrong. I'm not thrilled.
Well, life is all about
But-
adapting to the new normal.
Yeah, well, for a while I was like, all right, if it gets to a certain point, I'm just going to shave my head. But I don't.
which I never understood.
I don't-
Because George
Well,
Carlin, like
because
you said,
because for a while I think it was almost like if I can't have my normal hair, fuck it all type of juvenile.
But the thing, but
impulse.
you don't need to think like that. In this
Well,
case,
the
it's
thing
like,
is, I have no idea if my head shape is normal. It might look like a weird fucking jelly bean, so I don't know that it's going to actually work out.
that's funny.
I mean, I kind of run my hand across my head, and I'm not feeling a lot of weird divvies or dips or whatevers.
I don't think your
So-
head is shaped weird, but you have a very round top of the head.
Yeah, well, I just don't, and it might make me look like a lunatic more.
Oh,
You know, I don't know.
and listen, that is a sound question. What makes you look like the most lunatic?
It could be that, and there is something. I imagine at this point it would be very pale, so it would probably be discolored.
Yes, but that's
in the back.
but that takes no time at all. The sun gets in no matter what and makes
All right,
things-
it does, but it does take some time, and in the meantime, it's going to look like a bird took a large white shit on the back of my skull, and I don't know that I want that. And here's the other end.
yeah.
While I don't believe any of the current things on the market now actually work because there's no evidence they fucking do unless you want surgery, it is not impossible they will not figure out how to make hair follicles come back.
So you
happen
would
in the
do
next
so
5
you
years.
would do a hair transplant, is what you're saying?
No, not a transplant. If there was a medication that was safe,
Oh, they would. Just
I would
make
not
it
take
come
it
back?
the minute it came out. But if there
Okay.
was a pill that could stimulate, I mean, there is that stuff you're supposed to put on your head, but it does not work as well as they make it sound like it works. And I'm not going to keep slobbering fucking paste on my skull to get 4 hairs back that may not even be aligned with the rest. You know, I've seen how that can go really bad. You get tufts of hair, and that's worse. I don't want the goddamn Homer Simpson shit happening. Like, I don't want that.
Inconsistent. Got it.
Yes, at least mine is uniformly receding, like the Italian army in World War II. Like, they're all going at the same time. So that's all right. They're all in the same general direction. So I'm fine with that. I don't want this thing where suddenly I've got, a weird sprout of what looks like chia seed right above my eyes. I don't want that. So if there is a point where something comes out and people take it and they don't suddenly, have their ears fall off or some shit, and it works uniformly, then I would consider taking that, as long as there's no weird side effects. I mean,
You might grow hair out of your, eyelids.
well, or my asshole. Like, I don't want a beard coming out of my fucking pants. Like, there are things where I'm like, no, I'm sorry if it overstimulates.
I'm sorry, but you know what? If you could have a full head of hair, and the only side effect was like a hairy anus area, I don't know. That seems like a. I don't know, that
It
seems like a
depends
fair
on how
trade.
much maintenance would be involved. I do not want to be shaving my asshole every 2 fucking days. Like peanut butter solution type shit. I'm not good with that.
Man, after a while,
I don't
waxing your
care
butthole will
that
just
much.
become second nature.
No, you know what? No, it won't. Not for me. Not for me. If other people want to put fucking hot wax on their asshole and shred it off.
Would you go to somebody, or would you try and wax
No,
it yourself?
no, neither. It's not worth it. It's not worth it.
Okay.
That is way too much asshole maintenance for me. I'm sorry. You know?
Asshole maintenance.
Keeping it clean is enough for me. I don't need to go beyond that. That's it.
I don't need a jungle.
Yeah. This is, it's bad enough now I have to hunt on my ears for little black hairs with a pair of fucking tweezers because it pisses me off when I feel them.
Oh, where suddenly your body's like, we're going to grow hair here now. And you're like, but
stupid
why?
black hairs where they're not necessary, that were never there before. Why is right. Yet I can't get any more on the top of my head where I'd like dark hair. No. Where I'd like my hair to stay dark, it's not. And where I don't want any dark hair, it is. What the fuck is this?
Yeah. Why is the crotch hair so dark, but the beard is white?
Yeah, this shit just.
But
makes
honestly, you know what? I mean, if my pubic hair went white all of a sudden, I would be disturbed by that though. That would be weird.
I don't care about that.
No,
I don't give a fuck what that looks like.
No, I mean it's the sudden onset that would worry me.
Well, okay, sudden onset of anything is a cause for concern. I agree, but if overnight your hair on top of your head suddenly shocks white too, I'd be afraid that I had some kind of terrifying experience and repressed it.
Yeah,
right?
or,
that's
you,
how it is in the movies.
Or you had kids.
Well, something out of the ordinary would have to happen.
Yeah.
So yes, anytime something radically changes,
man,
you should be concerned. I agree.
I'm gonna be thinking about the asshole maintenance thing for a while.
Yeah, I'd make that the show title, but I try not to make them. So somebody could pull them up at work potentially, and not have somebody look over and be like, "What are you looking at?" Yeah. Especially if it says asshole maintenance, that might get them some uncomfortable questions.
I rode that horse all the time.
Yeah. That's a little long. Otherwise, I would use it. I don't like to go over 4 words. I try to keep it at 4 words or less. Because a lot of things will cut it off. And so if you only see part of it, it could potentially say, I rode that whore.
I rode that whore all the time.
Yeah. So there's things. There's reasons to keep them somewhat restrained. Yeah.
Jeez. Sorry, I have too much fun with these shows when we don't actually have a lot to review.
It's true. Yeah.
I know that most people will be like, it's just useless banter, but I have too much fun with it.
No, it's great. I actually did start to watch something and I stopped because I realized it's a movie you and I have to watch. Because okay. Yeah.
Well then don't tell me what it is. We'll watch it.
No, I won't.
Joe has to repopulate his list because he didn't realize we were going to watch everything so fucking fast.
The box is repopulated. I have not made a new wheel yet, so I have to make a wheel. But the box has 18 or something movies in it now.
Oh, there you go. So we can just call them off. And we did watch a movie for tonight. We watched a really weird one.
We did.
So
hold on. Here we go.
Go ahead.
Sorry, did you want to say something before I did that?
No, I was waiting for the music.
All right.
You shut the fuck up!
Thanks for killing my mom.
Yeah, no problem.
You might say I'm a bit of a racist.
Just give me the essence of the thing, the juice,
Give me the juice. Dude, you shut the music down, and that was like that feeling of like about to be having an orgasm and then suddenly not. And then you put the music and I was like, yay! Yeah.
Sorry.
Yes. Yeah. That was like such a shock to the system. I was just waiting for the music to tumble out. This is a break from our norm of late, which is we've been watching a lot of movies, so there's been a lot of shit to like burn through, and for whatever reason this week we're both going different directions.
Number one, we have a game to play, which we didn't for a while. So now there is a game that we can play, which is fortunately one where we can drop in and drop out pretty much whenever we want.
Yeah, pretty much.
Suits our way of playing games well.
And
which is a good thing because it has a memory leak problem where it kicks in after an hour and your frame rate drops through the floor. So it's kind of good we don't play for that long.
And then just the timing of things, we ended up not having a chance to watch movies together. But we did watch this one, and it is a weird one. So bravo to Joe for finding this. Would you like to present to the class?
Yeah, this I saw I believe it was either on Blue Sky or on Discord. Somebody had posted a short clip of a movie, and the caption was, look at this. This was done before CGI, and it looks better than a CGI version would today, or something along that lines. And what I saw was a individual with 4 arms that was clearly a person with 2 arms, and another person either behind them or whatever. I couldn't really tell from the clip. Also doing 2 arms, but doing it in a way that you didn't usually see as smoothly done. And I went, oh, so, what is this?
This movie, right? The only other time that I have seen multiple sets of arms done as well, right, is Pilot in Farscape, who was a giant puppet. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And there were multiple people moving that, and he was a stationary puppet.
Yes. He was great.
And then the Seers, the Oracles in Dark Crystal. And
yes.
I always got the sense with them that there was like 2 active arms and then there were 2 passive arms.
Yes.
You know, so like,
yes,
there, like
I'm pretty sure that's correct.
Yeah. Whereas in this movie, which we'll get into what it is, this guy,
just
what
to
I
be
can
clear,
tell,
you mean the Mystics, not the Oracles.
The Mystics, yeah, the Mystics.
Just so people aren't confused, because Oracle would be Aughra, would be the Oracle.
No, the Mystics. Whereas in this movie, this character, he is not stationary. He is walking around. He is doing things, and those 4 arms are always active. They are all. At one point, I was like, "Oh, they're fake arms there," and then one of them just moved and was like, flicking things around.
Yeah.
From what I can tell, it's a skinny guy with another skinny person wrapped around them and has their arms stuck out. Honestly, I kept wondering if it was like a small female gymnast attached to like a 6'5" gymnast. You know what I mean? Like a really skinny guy, and then you have someone wrapped around them, like in a harness or something like that. But yet the secondary, and they're timed really well too. Like it's not even like.
Here's the thing. The guy who's the main actor is not small. He's a large guy.
Really?
If you look up pictures of him, every picture I've seen, like on IMDb, he is fairly large except for in one. And I don't think it's from this time period. He's basically like, Laurel and Hardy. Yeah. He's Hardy. He's Hardy size. In almost everything I found him in, he's kind of like a John Candy type, if you look it up. Right? So I think he was big, and they had somebody really skinny. Because that outfit he's wearing is huge. So
it is, yeah.
It's very, very possible that that's what they were doing.
You're right. He's big. He kind of looks like Bob's Big Boy.
I thought the same thing when I looked it up. I actually looked into this a lot, and I didn't tell you any of this because I wanted to kind of give you all this on the show.
Okay.
So this movie is essentially the latest. This is a huge Russian multimedia thing. So all of this, like this movie, there was an animated series, there was a mini series. It's all from children's books. This is like Where the Wild Things Are in Russia. Children's science fiction books. There's a novel idea, of all things. So these are famous books that originally started in 1965 and were written until the author died in 2003. And they have spawned all kinds of stuff. And the girl who plays the young woman in this, Alice, she's played that character in the miniseries. She's played that character before. So this is like, we're seeing one bit of a huge thing. If you're Russian, I guess you would know this. This would be like a Charlie Brown type of thing. So yeah, that character, the Alice character, is the main character, where she kind of goes and has adventures across time and space, all that type of stuff. So all the things that are in this movie are kind of a mix of all the things that get covered in those stories. And essentially she is, do you remember, you remember, Inspector Gadget, remember Penny, the really smart kid?
Yeah.
She's Penny. She's very curious. She's got a very smart scientific mind. She likes to solve mysteries. She likes to, play around with science and have adventures. So she's a Russian Penny character. And so they've made all this stuff. I'm actually curious about the miniseries. It sounds like it's actually pretty good. I think it was only 5 episodes. It was like a miniseries. But it sounds good. And yeah, this woman has played this character for a while because of all these books.
Is it called Guests from the Future?
Yeah, that's it. Yep. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. A schoolboy finds a time machine, and he helps Alice, a scientist of the future, to save a mind-reading device from space pirates. Chased by the pirates and followed by Alice, he saves the device and takes it back to his own time. Interesting.
There's something like 40 books written, full length, of this character. Starting in 65, all the way through to 2003. Yeah. Here's some titles. Now, the character in Russian is Elisa instead of Alice.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
Elisa's Travel, Elisa's Birthday, The Lilac Ball, the one we watched, is an adaptation of one of them. Ivan Ivanovich, the Goat, The Princess of Yamaguri Maru, The End of Atlantis, The City Without Memory, The Underground Boat, The War Against Midgets. I don't know what that one's about, but it's from the 90s. The Kindness Ray. There's a concept. We could use that now. Ghosts Don't Exist. A Planet for Tyrants. That's what we're in. The Star Dog. Twilight the Vampire. Alice and the Monster.
I like the Star Dog.
Yeah, Star Dog. Let's see. The ones that were adapted. The Mystery of the Third Planet. Guests from the Future. Prisoners of Yamaguri Maru. Stop motion animated short. That sounds wild. Lilac Ball, the one we watched. Island of the Rusty General, live action. Alice's Birthday is animated. Alyssa Knows What to Do, animated. And Guests from the Future in 2024. This was a big budget adaptation of that book. You can look at the poster and it looks like it had some money. In the near future, Earth joins the Space Federation. I mean, this is a big thing. We just saw this one-off thing, and I didn't know there was anything more to it. I was looking into how they made it.
Yeah.
And saw that this is a major thing. So, what we watched was Lilac Ball or the Purple Ball.
Yeah.
And this was from 1988, live action. And it's an adaptation, apparently, of one of the books. So this is actually, it's all in Russian, so I don't know if the book, I assume the book has more in it than what we saw because the movie kind of runs at a rapid pace.
It
and it's only
is a
90
short
minutes or
flick.
so.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty quick. But the amount of imagination and amazing effects that are in this are the reason to watch it. The story itself is a little confused and relatively simple. Alice and two scientists are on a ship, and they're on their way to meet another ship, and they encounter this large Death Star. They call it like the Death Ship, but it's a Death Star. This big dead Death Star. And it so happens that on board is their old traveling compatriot, the four-armed professor, what's his name?
He's a he's a space archaeologist, and his name
space archaeologist named Gromozika. That's it. The alien archaeologist. So he's an alien.
Gromozika, yeah.
Gromozika. This immense, wonderfully haired, four-armed guy.
Yeah, and you can't tell he has his big hair and his big fantastic mustache, but you can't tell if the hair on he has like a mane, and you can't tell if like the mane is his or it's part of the suit. The suit is hairy as well, so you can't tell how much of it's like he's a weird.
And you
lion.
and I were looking. We were trying to figure it out, and neither of us could ever see whether it was.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, it's crazy. But essentially, they figure out that there are these the purple balls from the title. There is a purple ball bomb that has been set on Earth to detonate in the future.
And they're supposed to go off when one of these ships is about to arrive. But in the case of this ship, the people on the ship had an accident and ended up killing each other, which is why the ship is empty. But the ball is already
But it is
on
on autopilot to go.
And the ball will go off.
Right. So once they figure this out, they decide to use the time machine that they just have.
Yeah, out of nowhere.
Nothing about this is foretold or, it's not unusual. Now, I guess if you knew the books, you would know this wasn't unusual, that this is not new to them. But in the movie's parlance, there is no idea of this until Alice is like, well, I guess I got to use the time machine. And they're like, yeah, I guess you do. And they're just out of nowhere. And then and
she's like, yeah, I'll go back to the time of myth and legend.
Yes. Yeah, she's talking about the fact that she has a frog princess. Well, she has a frog. And then it was given to her by a magician.
Yep.
And it's just no big thing. And she's like, yeah, right, I'm going to go back there.
Yeah, and one of the scientists basically thinks that she's lost her fucking mind.
Yeah. Yeah, the 14-year-old pilot thinks that she's nuts.
He looks young, yes.
He looks very young. He's not supposed to be, but he looks very young. And so she and four-armed beard man, they go back in time to when these balls were being planted, and they run into various characters such as the Baba Yaga and three crazy people who live with her, a man on a flying carpet. They see a large flying bird thing, There is a flying butt plug that deposits the purple ball. All kinds of shit. And it's just, I mean, they in the short run, they stop it. That's it. The story is not that dense.
Well, essentially, they find the ball and they take it away before it can be found on Earth.
Before it can be found.
And then the wizard destroys it. Yeah.
That's it. That's
It's
the
a
whole
simple
story.
movie,
But that's not why you're watching it. Yeah,
but
it's
the
very simple.
look of it, I mean, they meet Baba Yaga and her, I guess, are they her 3 nephews or something like that?
I have no
Or her
idea.
3 grandsons. And then they're
Sure.
all kind of like metaphoric characters. And then Gromozuki or Gromozika.
Oh no! Here, I found it.
Okay.
The three. There's Baba Yaga. There's Koshi, Ledoed, and Konoed, who
the
are
horse eater.
monsters of the Epoch of Legends.
There you go.
So these are Baba Yaga level creatures from Russian legend.
Gromozika basically teaches them a lesson about vegetarianism after he beats
Yeah.
them up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, Gromozika, by the way, is an alien. He is not human
Yes,
at all.
it says alien.
Yeah.
Yeah, alien archaeologist. It does say that.
Yeah.
Yes, we weren't sure for a while.
I mean, honestly, this
Because-
would overlap with Doctor Who so easily.
Oh, it looks.
And there is
it looks like Doctor Who.
And there is a Baker era feel to it, except it's done so much better. Could you imagine if Doctor Who in that time period looked like this?
You could have subbed out. I mean, I wouldn't, but Gromozika could be subbed out for Doctor Who, and nothing about this story changes.
No,
nothing.
it's to be fantastic. Yeah.
Their time machine is just a TARDIS instead of some room on the ship.
And
But otherwise, it would
Alice
operate the
just be-
same way.
Yeah.
No,
Oh
it'll be the
my
same
God!
thing.
Have you seen the art of what Gromozika looks like?
Yeah,
other
he's like
people?
a robot with arms coming out. It's weird.
Some
I
of
love
them,
it.
he's a robot. Did you see? Oh man, there's some really cool ones.
I actually have considered buying. There's a figure that's available, and I'll probably get it because he looks so weird. None of them look like this. That's the crazy part. None of them. There's one where he's got a beard.
I just sent you a really cool one.
Let's see.
He's got 6 arms in that.
Yeah. Yes.
I mean, he's
That's what I
really
mean.
cool. Yeah.
There's a few of them where he's a human with 2 arms.
Yeah.
But only a few. But most of them are like he's in a trash can with a giant nose, 4 arms that come out of what looks like a robo body. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's an actual statue built of him somewhere. I saw the monument, and it's the robot version, basically. But yeah, it's crazy. Oh yeah, there are a couple that look like the movie version, but most of them do not.
I've seen this. Yeah, I see the statue where he's like a robot.
Yeah.
He's got a huge nose. Yeah.
I think because the animated ones, that which is probably what most kids know of him. That's what he looks like in the cartoon. Is he's got that robot body where he does have. Oh, you're right. He has 6 arms. I didn't notice that. He does have 6 arms in the cartoon. In other ones, he's got 4. It's so strange, but he's great. I mean, he's the best thing in it.
But watching it, I mean, yes, he is. Watching him and his arms is mesmerizing.
It is.
But the sheer willingness to just say fuck it and have all this kind of weird, childlike imagination, where like the wizard is traveling through time and space, she's traveling through time and space. There's a magic carpet.
Yeah.
You know, like there's wizards versus aliens. Like, yeah, I just thought overall that it was I don't know, it was just a wonderfully positive experience of a movie.
Well, I kept thinking of like Jim Henson stuff.
Yeah,
we were talking about that, and that's there's a real sense of that where there's never a real threat. Yeah, even though they say the Earth's going to explode, it never feels threatening. I mean, the Baba Yagas, even though there's one that's dressed as a half skeleton, which I love that costume. I don't know what the hell that was, but I really like it. But, like they're arguing with a kid, and the kid keeps messing with the horse eater, and you can, like, he's beating the shit out of him inside the house. Like, the Baba Yaga is usually a pretty terrifying figure. Yeah. Not in this. She just seems like she's constantly making hot soup, and that's it. Like, that's just what she's doing. Yeah. But again, the Baba Yaga to me has always been a terrifying figure.
And they are planning on eating the child. But this is like a storybook, like a positive storybook version of it.
It's almost like they're never going to manage it. Like, that kid is always going to get the upper hand. It's a Tom and Jerry situation is what it feels like.
Yeah, yeah.
That kid's never ending up in the soup. Yes, they always intend that, but it's like aspirational. It's not. And
I actually really like the poster for this. The white and blue poster.
Yeah, the illustrated poster is great.
Yeah, it's very well done. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
No, it's a really fun. If you are a fan of old school Doctor Who, like you said, or Jim Henson stuff, Muppets and Puppets, that type of thing. Dark Crystal, Labyrinth, those types of things. If you really enjoy that stuff, you will get a big kick out of this because it has that feeling. It's very much a movie that is an expression of imagination, and like you said, no limits kind of, okay, rather, because it would have been very easy, and most times what they would do with a character who has 4 arms is only in the close shots would the 2 arms move.
Yeah.
In any far shots, they would have just put a pair of dummy arms, and at first I thought that's what they were doing, because the first shot of Gromazika from a distance, his hands are intertwined for a while, and it does just look like they're just kind of stapled to him, like they're stuck.
Yeah.
Then they just start moving, like you said, and you realize, no, they've tied somebody to the back of this actor. Because his outfit is immense. It's far bigger than
he is a big guy, yeah.
He looks like he's wearing a bear suit with no head. And so obviously there is a person in there, and they're in every shot. So in all these, there's really well choreographed things where the hands are coordinating.
Yeah,
and that person can't possibly see what's happening.
Yeah.
No way.
I can't see what it is though. I can't see,
No,
there's no. I can't find any information on how they did it.
No, I don't think there's even a Blu-ray or anything that might have special features. I was looking, and I didn't see one, because if there was, I would hope there would be something on the making of it, but I can find nothing about how this movie was made. And that's a real shame, because it's a really well done effect. Stunningly good. And again, not just in terms of there's always arms moving, which itself is impressive. That they didn't just take certain shots as, okay, we don't need this moving, so get the guy out of the suit or whoever it was. But there's parts where he's coordinating, and this is before, because today they'd probably put a pair of smart glasses on with a screen so you could see what the arms were doing. You'd coordinate it somehow. They do it with CG. They wouldn't even do this. But let's say they did. You would have some kind of way of seeing it. Not in those days. There was nothing like that. So they had to have obviously rehearsed it. And then the person is probably, just feeling how the arms are moving, and they're moving. Because there's parts where one hand is handing the other hand something. There's parts where it's like he puts one hand on his chin and the other one is kind of drumming the finger. There's all these nice little movements. Small stuff. It's not always big kind of in your face, but there's always enough motion to convey the idea that this is a being with 4 arms, so they're always kind of just doing their thing. Coordinated, but doing their thing. And that's probably the most effective or most astonishing effect because it's constant. But yeah, then you have, there's people on a flying carpet, and it's not composited. They must have had a crane, and they just had wires.
Some of the wired work in this, sometimes you can see the wires, but very often you can't.
I saw the wire twice in the whole movie
and
it
looks good.
The rest of it,
it looks well done.
Now, in fairness, some of that is because we were watching what was probably a Laserdisc rip, so there is some kind of the loss of fidelity. But still, they did this stuff in camera. As far as I can tell, almost every effect is in camera. They actually were doing this physically. Because there's parts where there's like a ship comes down, and it's clearly a large-scale ship. So there's clearly a crane, but still, you have to do all that stuff. Where they could have just done a cheap animated composite. It would have been easier. It would have been cheaper. They didn't do that. They really did. This felt like again, to go back to a Jim Henson thing, where the whole thing with Jim Henson films is they tried to do as much practically in camera as possible, even if it wasn't necessarily the most practical thing. Practical was better, even if it wasn't practical, to coin a pun. That's how they did things. That's why those movies look so amazing, is because it is all there. It's physical, unless it literally can't be. So you have full-size puppeteered things with a raised floor so that they could move them and you didn't have to have the camera cutting them off halfway. You could do full-size shots. If you've never seen any of the making of how they did some of the Jim Henson stuff, you really should. It's amazing.
It is.
It's really just mind-blowing.
It is quite astounding, yeah, when you see
what
they did.
It's brutal work at times. It was often very hot. These people are under floors
I was
in
so
suits. It's
sad when I realized that the oracles, the mystics are like basically people hunched over.
Yeah.
You know, you want them to be so
Yeah.
much bigger than that, and then you're like, no,
Yeah.
it's a person hunched over, but they look
Right.
immense because the Gelflings are so little.
Yeah. No, and again, that's what I'm saying is that if you've never watched how Jim Henson stuff was done, you really should. It's one of the thing that is the biggest shame of the Dark Crystal series is they did all that stuff again, and it was so good, and it only got one season, which just really just depresses me. In an era of just excess CG vomit,
what was it?
Age of Resistance. It's fantastic. Yeah, it's great. We're going to be rewatching it soon because I missed that show because it was, again, most of that is practical. Yeah, they did effects here. They erased things here and there, but it doesn't matter. The feeling was there. They did it right. Farscape, another perfect example. Farscape is the gold standard in many ways of science fiction puppetry.
Yeah. And honestly,
I don't know that there's anything else that rivals it.
I love watching the special feature of the Farscape show because they talked about how one of the things with Ben Browder, why Ben Browder's performance in Farscape is very good, is because Ben Browder basically said, "Hey, can I grab the puppet? Can I be?" Because the thing is, you're very used to people being like hands off with the puppets, whereas his whole thing was, "Can I make it physical? Can I grab them? Can I, you know?" And if you watch the show, you realize that one of the things that makes you feel like these aren't just that makes these characters is that there's a physical interaction.
He's grabbing Rigel every fourth or so episode. He's grabbing him and screaming at him.
Rigel.
No, but I mean, yes, but I mean even the animated puppet. He's grabbing him and all kinds of shit.
Yeah, so series. It's I mean, I love practical effects.
The thing that is the most impressive about Farscape, far and away, the thing that is the most impressive about it, and really you could say this about all the Henson stuff, is you so rapidly stop realizing that they're puppets. The puppet thing fades so quickly.
Oh no!
And you're characters so
Rigel
quickly.
And Rigel becomes a person.
No, Pilot is the one. Pilot is really the one where when Pilot is being like when they're cutting his arm off.
Yeah.
And he's shrieking. It is difficult for me to watch it. I know it's a puppet.
Yeah. And what's crazy is that the guy who plays Krace also does the voice.
Yeah, voices the pilot. Yeah. That's great.
And you know what? Until you see that in the credits,
you'd never know.
I didn't realize it because it's such a different performance.
Yeah.
You know? Oh yeah, it's I mean, I can go on for many, many, many hours about how fantastic
at some point
is.
I do have this idea that you and I at some point are going to do one of these deep dives on Farscape, the ones like me and Doug are doing, but we'll do it on Farscape, and we'll do one season a show. Because I want to show clips. I want to... That show is still criminally underrated.
Yeah.
I mean, more people know about it than used to.
And you know what?
It's
on, to my knowledge, I think it's on Prime again.
It's on YouTube. There's still a 24/7 thing, but just people don't... I really think it's just that when it came out, I don't know. It's strange to me that Farscape is still what it is.
So it was just so weird.
Well, it was, but I mean, people talk about Battlestar Galactica like it's a great sci-fi series, and I'm sitting here going, it was okay, but I guess you didn't watch Farscape because Battlestar to me it's fine. The qualities, look, I like Katie Sackhoff immensely. I mean, that's what made me really like her. She's great.
Yeah, but honestly, listen, Claudia Black, I'll take Claudia Black over Katie Sackhoff any day in that.
Well,
in their respective sci-fi roles.
What I really would like is the two of them in a movie together. Now, I'm fine with that. That's really what I would like is, do a science fiction version of Yes, Madam with the two of them on a ship destroying everybody they see. I'd watch that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying is Farscape, maybe it was the weirdness, maybe it was because it wasn't considered American, I don't know, some bullshit, but it still doesn't.
I mean, it was
people who know, but not enough people know.
It was a biological ship, which confused the hell out of people.
Yeah.
It was.
Well, it was also very horny, which at that time you didn't see a lot of that.
It was a horny show. Yes.
Yeah. Now everybody's clamoring for that, but at the time I don't think there was as much of that, where there was just a lot of, hormones bouncing around the ship at times. I mean, Chiana was a whole thing in herself, really.
And then there was Two Crichtons, which was also, a horny mess.
There was
So,
there was
yeah.
the my two.
Yes, you're
Crichtons.
right. It was a horny show. I mean, listen, was it one of the last the last season, not when the miniseries, the last actual season.
Yeah, you mean the
There's
last
a scene in that
season.
where they're trying to create a disturbance, and they're in an enemy space station, and they go down to this area where there's all these plants growing. That's like very very sacred to them, and they've found a way down there. And the whole idea is that it's a huge distraction, and they get down there. And she's like, "So what do we do now?" And he's like, "Well, he's like, here we are." He's like a field of flowers, and they cut away, and then the alarm goes off, and the bad guys get there. And when they pop up, you realize that Aaron and Crichton have been having sex.
Yeah.
And he zips up and he goes, "There's never enough time," Like, and I'm like, "Yeah, I love that." And the two of them are like, "You know what? We could die at any minute, and we've got 5 minutes. Let's see how far we get." But yes, it was a very sexy show, which is why it's and maybe this is the thing, is that because it was a little too sexy, it was too much for younger kids, and younger kids would have put this show over the top.
Yeah, I think there
Maybe
is
that's
something
what
to
it
that.
is.
I think the fact that it was, I mean, you saw Zan's ass in one episode. In
you
full
saw her
force.
ass all the time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's what I'm saying. Is
And
that
it was
you're right.
blue.
It was
I mean,
too
they
old.
painted
Very
they
blue.
painted that woman all the
right.
fuck over.
Yeah. She was painted top to bottom. That's why she left.
Yeah.
Because the paint was too much for her with the shaved head and everything, which I understand. Can't be easy.
Yeah, and that was sad because she was a stunning looking character.
Yeah, they never really did. They never figured out how to replace that particular role, which is fine. I'm kind of glad they didn't try to bring another of her type on.
Well, they put different people, but they had different like mystics, but they were all
that's what
so
I'm saying,
completely
is
different.
Instead of
Yeah.
trying to redo the same species, because a lot of shows would do
Yeah.
that. She would die,
Oh,
and
they
then
bring
another
like
one
Dax.
would join.
They brought on another
Yes.
Dax. Yeah.
Right, and I like that actress, but she's nowhere near as good as Terry Farrell.
But, I mean,
was.
they
Terry
brought the
Farrell's
old-
Dax was just too good.
They brought the old lady on with the 3 eyes.
The old three-eyed
Who was-
lady. Then they brought the
who was-
red-haired girl,
Yeah.
the Shrieker or whatever. Didn't she yell or something? I can't remember.
Yeah, she could melt metal with her screech. Yeah.
Yeah, she was a banshee, which is fine. I like them both, but that's what I'm saying is instead of trying to replicate Zahn, which would have been a bad idea
They
and
did
would never have been
different
the
things.
same,
Yeah.
they decided to bring other people in, and it worked. And that's what I'm saying is that show was full of smart decisions and smart writing and good character work and amazing effects. The scientist creature, when season 1 or 2, what was the one where he was doing the experiments? That big, tall creature with the backwards legs. Remember that professor thing? He was doing the human experimentation. He was trying to mix DNA.
There's
I don't
so
remember
many
what his-
monsters. There's so many big creatures. in
No,
this.
but this one was huge. Like, this is a big, tall. God damn it! It's called like DNA. Jesus.
Oh,
Christ.
DNA Mad. Is it DNA Madness?
DNA Mad Scientist. That's it. Yeah, the Namtar is the name of the scientist. Yeah,
Namtar.
that's him. That huge guy.
Oh, with
in
like the
suit.
big horned
Yes.
head.
Yes, that thing alone.
Yeah.
Because he had the backwards kind of like goat leg. He was huge.
Yeah, and the
That
thing is
character
that
was immense.
season 1 of Farscape is weak, and yet it has still got more imagination than most shows.
Oh yeah.
But then you
well,
hit
I
season
mean,
2, and that shit just takes off running.
The problem is once Scorpius gets involved, it overshadows everything. Because
Well, that's the whole-
I like Crace. I love Crace. But Crace is not Scorpius.
No,
Crace
and the
was a
thing is that
different thing.
Crace gets better because once Scorpius shows
Yes.
up, he
Once he's
turns
got
up.
talent.
He screws the pressure up on everybody. Everything
See, this
becomes
is why
more intense.
this is why we have to do this show. You see how much stuff there is?
I'm
this
not
would
saying
be great.
I told you I could talk about it for hours, but it's
Yeah.
it
But-
is a
but it
great
can't be
show.
this.
So, but the thing is, I'm gonna go back to the movie watch. Purple Ball is a really great movie, right?
Oh, yeah, sorry,
It's-
Purple Ball.
and its practical effects are incredible. Farscape's practical effects are also incredible, and they're both worth watching.
Yeah,
if you like
yes, I think
science
that's-
fiction
yes.
and you like practical effects, these are two properties that are phenomenal.
Yeah.
I was so
But that's
taken
what I'm saying is if
sideways
you
by the
like
Purple
that
Ball.
stuff, if you like those things, if you're a Farscape person already, you're going to have a great time with this. because it's going to feel like it's that level. I mean, the effects, again, for a Soviet film that I cannot imagine had that much of a budget. I mean, maybe it did, but I thought I looked at it. Didn't seem like. I mean, it's so well done for what it is. And again, like you said, it's just this kind of out of nowhere thing. Does it say the budget? It doesn't. But I mean, I cannot imagine a late 80s movie in the Soviet Union. I mean, that was right. They were getting ready to crumble. I cannot imagine this thing had a huge budget. It was a well-known property that probably got them talent. And they did a lot with it. Doesn't say. There's so little information about this, which I think is a fucking crime.
Yeah, there is very little information.
Yeah, I mean this movie,
I went
like
looking,
Farscape, deserves to be more well known.
And the fun thing about Farscape is there is quite a bit of information about Farscape. There are a lot of specials that are now becoming more difficult to find.
Well, that's why I bought the whole set on physical.
But I mean the makings of and all the stuff they've done at the show. It's yeah, and you see how
buy
they
it
do
on
things.
physical if you want all that stuff and it's permanent. Because I believe they did do a 4K, did they? Which I will probably, yes, they did. Oh no, okay. So the one I have is the best version, which is the Blu-ray.
Yeah, and Dargo is the ultimate modern Chewbacca.
Oh, yeah.
Like honestly, you know what it is for me? Farscape to me is the Star Wars of present for me, or at least like
that
the
never
90s.
went shitty.
Yeah, well, that's the thing because like we have this culture. We're gonna get off on a rant here for a minute, but we got this culture where somebody does something unique and different, and suddenly they're like, "Oh my God, we want more of that! Make everything like that! Yeah, give us more of that!" I mean, and this is what George Lucas hated, which is that he was a weird guy and liked to do lots of different type of movies, and suddenly they were like, "No, we don't want any of that other weird shit. We just want this weird shit. Make everything this weird shit," and that became the sci-fi that dominated everything, right? And then rather than make some different shit down the road, they were like, make more Star Wars. And then they made prequels, they made sequels, and that was like a whole miniseries. And they're still fucking doing it, right?
Yeah.
But really what we want is these warm archetypes that we enjoy, and we want them kind of remixed and thrown in a different way. So then you get a show like Farscape that pops up, which owes a lot to I mean, the references alone that the main character makes, who is from Earth and is a big nerd, he references all the sci-fi that you love. He knows of it all. It is in his head. And it's in the writers' heads. And when they write the show it acknowledges that there's all this sci-fi out there, but it does it differently. So Crichton is like he takes Han Solo features and Luke Skywalker features, and they mix them together in a weird way. And then Dargo is like bits of Han Solo and bits of Chewbacca, and then they put the two of them together, and they're this fantastic duo. The two of them, they end up together all the time, right? Aaron's son is Princess Leia if she had become a fucking Jedi and could kick the shit out of anybody, right? Zan is like if Yoda was hot. I mean, really what it is, right? She's mystical, but she's also not afraid of. But she's also very physical. She's not afraid of the physical, and she's not a shriveled up little creature. Whereas the shriveled up little creature who looks like Yoda is a greedy bastard.
He's Lando Calrissian if he never flipped back to being good.
Yeah,
and selfish.
And so he has these moments where you're like, see, he's not all bad, but then he pulls all this other shit, and you're like, God, I'm amazed they haven't flushed him at the airlock.
Well,
right?
because the thing about Rigel that was done well is they most of the time, his self-absorption won out. He would occasionally dip into actual altruism, but it was rare. And so you never fully trusted the character. And so when he started to do something that looked good, you weren't sure why.
Yeah. But you know what? In the end, he's the one that acts as isn't he the negotiator in the end?
Yeah. Because this is the thing about Rigel that's great, and they never let you forget it, even though they don't always put it up front, is he's a deposed ruler, and he's pissed off that he does not have his empire back.
Yeah, and he had an empire.
Yes, he
was a ruler.
Yeah, they did. It's an analog to what the one guy is in Babylon 5, but in this one, he never is back the way. Well, he does, but he doesn't inherit a ruined empire that he realizes was terrible the whole time. He doesn't ever learn that lesson. He's like, no, I'm getting my fucking empire back. That's my goal. That's it.
Yeah. So in many ways,
everything is
for me. Farscape was the continuation of the idea of Star Wars, which was the idea of practical effects, different ideas, do something weird, have fun in space. Right? And rather than try to make sure all this is canon and we'll have all these characters and I'm going to give you all their history, somebody else said, fuck it, let's do something new. And like, is it sitting on the base that Star Wars built? Yeah, the base that Star Wars built, that Blade Runner built, that all these different things put together.
Yeah.
And then they did something different and new. And sometimes you see little shades of it in there, right? And you're like, oh yeah, but it's taken all those things that you've loved and kind of remixed them and tried to do something different and weird. So for me, Farscape is huge.
Unlike Star Wars, the Emperor in this show is actually right. The biggest bad guy in the whole show is correct.
Well, that's that's the thing that is fascinating about Scorpius is he's not the biggest. He starts out
positioned as the biggest bad guy.
But as time goes on, and he also is forced to go independent. Everyone thinks he's wrong. You don't trust him. Neither side trusts him either. But in the end, of course, he is the smartest guy in the room. Right. And he was fucking right from the very beginning. And you sit there and you go, holy shit.
That's why when you rewatch it, it's so much better when you know what Scorpius is.
Yeah, because you realize he is the amoral scientist.
His ends justifies the means all the way to the logical
all the way to the end, yeah.
He doesn't care because in his mind, the greater good is what he's after.
If I can bring about
have to get ripped
peace,
to shreds, oh well.
Yeah, if I can bring about peace, it doesn't matter how many people I have to kill to get there.
Yeah. He's sitting there going, you guys don't understand what's... He's like Q with the Borg, where he's like, you don't get it. I get it. You don't. This is what's coming. And if I have to break a fucking bunch of eggs to get this omelet together so the whole fucking universe isn't shredded, I'm not going to cry about it. Sorry if I have to decapitate your best friend. Bye! And that's it.
Yeah.
That's his whole thing.
Yeah, and Scorpius, in that respect, is one of the great... He is one of the great sci-fi villains.
Not only is his character great, his visual design is excellent. His performance is magnificent.
Oh, yeah.
And when they do the Harvey thing with him, it's so well done because you've been used to him being a certain way.
Yeah, and then they make him so funny.
They really do. They kind of throw you off really well.
For those who don't know, the character of Harvey is a hallucination that the main character is having. So the character of Scorpius puts a copy of himself.
I was going to say he embedded a hallucination into Crichton's mind.
A copy of himself in Crichton's head that controls him to a certain point. But once Scorpius gets what he wants, the copy is now left as like an orphan. It doesn't have orders anymore. So Crichton figures out essentially how to take over it and kind of mine it for information. So it acts as this kind of second level of consciousness going on in his head that advises him about Scorpius, amongst other things. But because it is now a copy of Scorpius that is being tainted by Crichton's personality and his mind, he steadily gets weirder and funnier.
Yeah. Well, it's the kind of it's a very smart way to use this type of thing where, okay, when you embed this thing at the base level of a person with all of your knowledge, the problem is after a while, if it's stuck there and it has no contravening personality, well, it's down at the base level and the guy's got his brains surrounding this thing.
Yeah.
And it has all the information. So you can now start to get it from it.
And Crichton is a really smart guy. That's the other thing. This is not he's not just some test pilot. Like, he is a NASA scientist.
Yeah.
So, he is very smart. And that's the other thing, is that he brings about the whole smart hero. He's not just some dumb gun-toting, action guy.
And even that is done well because they start him off and he's so lost that you don't think about his intelligence for a while. They don't hide it, but it's buried under the layers of confusion.
But nobody in the show believes him.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying though. Is a lot of him is trying to figure out how to get his bearings.
Yeah.
And so the little pockets of brilliance they just peek through until he's.
Well, do you remember the caterpillars?
Then he's everything.
The caterpillars that they put in his mouth, and he's like, I'm not putting it in my mouth. And they're like, it'll clean your teeth. And he's like, no, I'm not fucking putting that in my mouth. Yeah. And they shove it in his mouth, and he's like, oh my god. He's like, it cleaned my teeth. He's like, it's kind of minty. And it's like, this is, and I like that it's a biological technology, like all of this. So, Yes, at some point or another, we'll have to do a deep dive on Farscape, more so than
I
we've
think
done
so.
tonight.
I think it would be a lot of fun.
But if you
in the
haven't
meantime,
seen Farscape,
well, I would
don't
tell
wait.
people buy the version that's the most current one, which is the 25th anniversary one, is loaded with special features. So if you
If
like
you
that
need
stuff,
those.
which Lando and I
Yeah.
do, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is that's I
Otherwise,
would
I'm
get
pretty
that.
sure it's on Prime. So if you have Prime, you can at least
Oh
watch
yeah,
the
watch
first
it.
two
Watch
episodes.
it first.
Yeah,
Yeah, watch it first.
yeah. And
But-
season one, like I said, season one is the weakest. So if you get through season one, there's a lot of weird imagination there. The second you hit, honestly, really, the second you get to the last like 3 episodes, I think it's Fringe, is the
Yeah.
episode, or Nerve. It's Nerve. I think it's Nerve.
No,
Like, once you
Nerve,
get to
yeah, Nerve.
yeah, when you get to the last 2 or 3 episodes, I think that's really where things start to kick off.
It kicks
Once
up.
Scorpius
It
shows
kicks
up. Yeah.
It is hard to properly level what his appearance does. As much as I like Crace, I think they figured out, and maybe they had. This is another thing I'm curious about. I've never seen anything that really talks about this in depth. Did they always plan for Scorpius to show up when they did, or did they realize that Crace had kind of a logical endpoint, and that was where Scorpius was born? I don't know. I've never.
Well,
as much
Crace
stuff as I've
was
seen.
Crace was rage, right? And
Yeah.
rage can only go so far. But Scorpius was intelligence. He was intelligent, and that.
And I
was
have to
so much
imagine
more
Scorpius was always
dangerous.
planned, but when? When
Yeah.
was Scorpius planned? Because it
And
feels
when
like
did-
they keep
and-
Crace around in that other
and
role because they
when
like
did-
him. You know?
Yeah. And when did they know he was going to be right? That's the
Yeah,
real
well-
question for me. Is that at what point did the writers go, you know what? I think Scorpius is right.
I would
Whole
roll the
time.
dice on saying from the beginning that the plan for him
Wouldn't-
was always to be
Wouldn't
that.
that be the thing? I would
Well,
be
because
impressed if they knew.
there's so much in this series that is playing around with audience expectation. Like the two Crichtons thing is a perfect example. You expect the one Crichton to live. Every other show, the Crichton that the other one would like sacrifice himself. Oh no, you're in love. I will sacrifice. That's how they would play it. That's the easy way, because then it's like feel good. Oh,
No, but they kept him for like a whole season practically.
well, they did so that you would get used to him. Because I think what they wanted people to expect
Yeah.
was that that's the one who was going to live.
Yeah. And then, that didn't really work out for them.
And that doesn't really work out. And that's great, because one of the things that you constantly read about with a lot of shows is the minute that the sexual tension goes out, the characters kind of lose a lot of their power.
Oh yeah, except
And
the
so
fact
they
is
had
then
a
you
nice
lose,
reset.
but then you lose what became Aaron's primary Crichton, and she can't
Yeah.
wrap her head around the idea that there's another Crichton,
Yeah.
and that
Yeah.
starts the whole damn thing over again, which is brilliant. I
Uh-huh.
mean, listen, storytelling
It's
wise, they
great.
did some brilliant shit in this show to
Oh,
keep you
yeah.
kind of pulled along.
They gave everybody, including the puppets, a lot of emotional
Honestly.
depth and things to do.
You know what? One of my favorite moments. So you know how there's moments as a storyteller, there are moments in movies and shows that I go back to because they are what I think absolutely brilliant moments. And I kind of want to end with
Yeah.
this, so we don't go any further. But there is this one moment.
200 hours later.
Exactly.
Just realized. Go on.
There is this moment in it's not the last season. I think it's the season right before. So Erin has been gone for the ship from a while, and she finally comes back, and she's getting over the fact that she is now ready to try and pursue Crichton, right? To be with the Crichton that is alive. And remember, these are
Leftover
identical. Yeah, the leftover. Now remember, these are identical Crichtons, so there isn't a master copy. They are both perfect, exact, and you never know. Once there's 2 of them, you have no idea which one's the real one. They are exact
Yeah.
copies.
Yeah.
And there's this moment where she is trying to get with him, and for a long time, Crichton has been using this drug that the 3-eyed woman has been giving him that kind of clears his head of Aaron, right?
Yeah.
And Crichton realizes now that he's got what do you call it? He's got Scorpius on the ship, so he's very nervous about this. They've got Scorpius on the ship, and Aaron is trying to pursue him, and he is putting her off, and she's getting really annoyed, and she thinks it's because of the drug, and so she confronts him, and he snaps at her. It's this great moment where he's just like, he basically tells her to shut up, and she gets fucking pissed, and she's like, Don't you tell me to shut up. And the thing is, they're all wearing these little comms. It's almost like the Star Trek symbols, right? Where you tap it. They all have these little comm units. The second you kind of become part of the crew, they give you a comm unit, and everyone's got them pinned someplace. Crichton's got it on his lapel. They're all over the place. And Crichton stops Aaron, and he says, "Hey pilot, my comms are a bit buggy. Can we ping the system?" And pilot says, "That'll take it down. That'll take it down for a minute." He goes, "That's fine." He's like, "Go ahead." And then he turns to Aaron and he's like, "Don't you get it?" He's like, "Scorpius is on the ship." He's like, "We can't be together because if he figures out that you're the thing that you're my Achilles heel, essentially," he goes, "he will use you."
Then he's got me.
And he's got me. He's like, he can't know that. And she's like, "No." She's like, "You're being crazy." And then right then, the comms come back up, and Scorpius goes, "Pilot, are we having trouble with the comms?" And they look at each other, like Aaron and Karen
like,
look at
"See?"
each other. And he's like, and she's like, "Oh my god!" And so out of nowhere she goes, "So then it's over." And he's like, "Yep,
That's right.
it's
It
over."
sure is.
And then they look at each other and they both smile, and you realize that now they're really together.
Right.
But she understands the situation, and it's like there's like all these levels to it. It is one of my favorite scenes in the show. I mean, it's like there are a lot of great scenes, but I love the acting and the cleverness of it.
That's a good one.
To kind of bring that moment together, and that's it's one of the things I love about that show. So, but also watch the Purple Ball.
Watch the Purple Ball. It's free. I will link to the archive thing because there apparently is no release for it, which I think is a real shame. But also, if you've been holding off on Farscape, start watching it. See what you think, because I bring that show up a lot. It's my show version of Stalker, where I don't shut up about it, because I still feel like it is seen as not seen enough. So
I mean, the fact that the show went off the air and the fans actually got the show to come, that they got the
Peacekeeper Wars made.
Yeah, they got the miniseries made, which is not perfect. And this is the thing about Farscape that is sad, is that the Peacekeeper Wars, which is the miniseries that ends the show, it's not perfect. It's basically like the Cliff Notes of what the last season would have been. But the fact that the fans got the show to come back, they got the funding for it, and they did the Peacekeeper Wars, which is, like I said, it is Cliff Notes, but at least you got a visual Cliff Notes for what the fuck.
No, you got an ending, which a lot of shows don't. So whatever, you got an ending.
And it is a solid ending.
Yeah, it's not bad. This is an interesting thing that I really don't know, is if you didn't know it was a cliffhanger or a Cliff Notes ending, would it matter? And I think for most people it would not. You and I were around when this was all happening, so we knew what was going on. And
I had read about it, and the fact that it's like it goes so fast, and when you're watching, and if you know the show, you're like, okay. I was like, this is a whole season.
You might feel like it's kind of a quick finish off, but I don't know that most people would know that it was essentially a cobbled together version of what they had in mind. Yeah. And the thing is, it doesn't. If you don't know that, I don't think it matters. I think it's still a satisfying. It beats what they had before, which was nothing.
Nothing. Yeah.
So it beats nothing, and I don't know that most people would even feel like, they might notice it's a little bit quick at times. Things get wrapped up pretty quickly, but I think you and I knew, and there was so much shit going on with it at the time. I mean, this was a huge thing among a small community of people who really loved something.
Oh, and those and the Save Farscape posters were fantastic.
Oh, it was great. It was a great. If you've never seen any of that stuff, look it up.
Yeah, the campaign is amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, there were a lot of people like us who understood what it was.
I had the Save Farscape poster of Aaron put on a shoulder bag. Like, they had they did yeah, and I still have it. Like, it's been years now, and I still have it. I will get rid of it because I think that company stopped making bags as well. So, but it's all like the die cut pieces, and they were all put together because the posters were all like 2 or 3 tone. So it's Farscape. It's part of my core mythology at this point.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, unfortunately, I can't find any of the I don't think any of that stuff exists anymore that you can actually see it.
The save parse. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
been so
there's a
long.
couple things. Oh well, there is a thing. Sci-Fi still has a little video about it, so I think they've got it on there.
Oh, yeah, if
How
you type in
bras?
save,
Yes, bras.
if
Save-
you type
yeah.
in save Farscape posters, you can still find them.
Oh, I didn't
Oh,
do posters.
Yeah, do save Farscape posters because in the end, they did like a ton of them. There's a poster that has like all of
No,
them
I remember them very, very well. Oh yeah, you're right. That did it. That
yeah.
did it. Look at that.
because they did the
Oh,
core
that takes-
characters and then they did fucking
Yeah.
all the aliens and shit.
Wow, that takes me back.
Yeah,
Man, I remember these.
yeah. The Dargo
Alright,
one was really
man.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Scorpius one.
Nobody was really sure if it would work.
I didn't think it was gonna work.
No, I mean you didn't see a lot of it. It was unusual. So.
But
that's
they
great.
kept
Yeah.
but they kept pushing and then and the show. So it's yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah,
So,
worth seeing.
there you go.
That's it, everybody. So, yeah, two good recommendations. One easy to find. I think Farscape is still, like you said, it's on Prime, and I think it is still playing. Hold on, I wanna
It's
see
out
this.
there.
Let's-
It's out there.
No, well, I mean, of course it's out there.
Yeah.
Everything is out there. Trust me when I tell you. If I found the purple ball, everything is out there. Farscape it's on Tubi for free. So if you don't have Prime, you've got that. People are upscaling it into 4K on YouTube, so you can find 4K versions, which is awesome.
That's awesome.
Wow, how many has he got done? Jeez, I think he did them all. Holy crap. Yeah, I think he's got them all done now. That's amazing.
On YouTube?
On YouTube, that's where it shows it.
Holy complete series, 4K
Yep,
AI
there it is.
remaster.
That's it.
Is that what you're looking at?
Well, I'm reading the article, but it's referring to that. Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah. Wow, it's even got rest. It's got.
Wow,
Yeah, it's all of it.
my god, when
There
you
you
look
go.
at the comparisons too.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, they some of these people are really good at this stuff. It's kind of astonishing, really. So
Okay, so does this guy have them
Yes.
all though? I don't know if he has them all.
it says 75 episodes. Isn't that the full run?
Yeah, but I don't know if he's got them all available. It looks like he's
Well, this is more than season 4 was. Okay, season 3, season 4. Hold on, season 2. They're out of order, but it does appear they're all here. Oh, he's got some marathons too. But how does he have this broken down?
Oh, Green-Eyed
This
Monster.
is-
There you go. That's a good one.
Yeah, it looks like it does look like they're all here. It looks like they're a little wonky in terms of how they're laid out, but you would just search for the episode number and you could find it.
And they do look good. Holy shit.
Man, I sure do love the fact that somebody has a gif of Claudia Black in her like midriff showing half shirt. That is never not appreciated. Thank you very much, whoever that is. Right at the bottom. Just her walking around with her abs. It's just great.
Well-
Why are Claudia Black and Mila not in a movie together? All right, I'm not getting started on that. We'll be here for another hour. Anyway, good stuff to watch. So whatever you do with your weekend, you have plenty of free material to find and enjoy. And if you come across weird stuff like the purple ball,
Watch
always
it.
send it my way. Well, watch it. Or just send it my way. We'll watch it. And, yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll talk to you again next week. Visit OzoneNightmare.com to subscribe to new episodes, browse through our back catalog, or to find links to support the show. Follow @OzoneNightmare on Twitter for the latest episode postings and other show information. If 280 characters just isn't enough, you can always email us, theozonenightmare@gmail.com. The opening theme for the show is provided by Heartbeat Hero. The closing theme is provided by Ogre. Please visit and support these artists using the links in the show notes for each episode.